Yes, people, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome back to another Blue Morning show, specifically another transfer show on Chelsea Perspective. Quite a lot to talk about, and some of which will emerge as the show progresses. And whenever that happens, we will talk about it immediately. So be sure to sit back, relax, and let's get into the show. Thank you so much once again for finding the time to join in the show this morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is where you're watching from. Thank you. Let's get into it straight away and not waste any time. Yes, people, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome back to another transfer show on Chelsea Perspective. More importantly, I hope you're all eating blue, sleeping blue, waking up blue, and overall living the blue life. Thank you once again. I appreciate you all. Let's see what we have in the chat before we get started as usual. And if you're watching Liam Lane, just remember I have not forgotten about you. I hope you're doing well. And soon I will find time to talk to you to see how you're doing. And Contender FC, a.k.a. 343 Dilemma, a.k.a. Briani Yahayu. Yahayu, I haven't forgotten. And a.k.a. Vivel FC. I hope you're doing well, brother. Always nice to see you. So thank you once again for finding the time to join the show, Jerry Z. I thought you're already on your way for your... You've left your place for your vacation. So I think you should be enjoying yourself. But thank you once again for finding the time to join us. He says, it's that time of the year. Yes, it is. Leaving in 20 minutes. Okay, you haven't left. For my mini vacation, Poch will give military training to Mudryk. Enjoy the show. And Yahayu here said something. He says, oh no, Mudryk is getting cooked. Yep, got cooked already. Yep. But I think Chelsea fans, we just, we're brushing it aside. And to me, I did the same. I don't think it's anything serious. And to my bro, Eric Blue, big up, brother. Much love to you. How you day now? My own personal saying, I hope that you day well. Always nice to see you. And Kim So says that we should have gone from Mbappe instead of Mudryk. No, I'm not going to regret Mudryk. Mudryk will come good. If you could say, if you look at the situation and do that objectively, you'd see that he's still come good. And occasions when he's gotten the chance to play, he's done well. If anything, what I've seen, what you could just call him not being match ready or just being a bit rusty. I think he will come. It's not a mistake. I wouldn't say it's a mistake yet. Too early, way too early to start thinking that way. Wilson Rivera, big up to you. Always nice to see you. He says, well, what? I can't read that. I think that's a Spanish. Hello to you too, Constantine Dante. Always nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. Good morning from New York City. Yep, Adube Lama to my fellow American. Always nice to see you. I appreciate you finding time to join. Big up to you too, Jacob Hoggins. Always nice to see you. Let's see. Big up Eugene. It's been a minute. I hope you're well. Big up to you too, Keshani. Yes, congratulations to Manchester City for winning the league. I agree. It would have been very painful had Arsenal gone ahead and won it. That would have broken my heart. I have to be honest. If Havertz is such a generational talent, how come there are no Havertz links? I'm not sure I have ever said that Havertz is a generational talent. I'm not sure I've said that. I don't know. But we don't know whether there are clubs who want to sign him or not. But let's move on from that. Really, big up Coachella and the chat. Big up to you too, brother. And Willie Blessed, I asked you to send me a message via Twitter. You told me to check my inbox, but I have quite a lot of messages, so it's not easy to filter through it. Except if you're still going by the same name, then I'll just search Willie Blessed to check the message you talked about that you sent to me. Other people call him that. Well, they are entitled to their opinion. I just think he's a good player. I just think with a good coach, playing consistently at a position where he's, maybe that suits him well. Maybe he'd do better. But I'm not going to argue that with you. But big up, more importantly, bro, Keshawn, I hope you're doing well. Get Mbappe free agent in 2024. I'd be surprised if you talk for a few minutes and not say that. And I'm going to say something quickly. Today, here's what we're going to be doing. Every time we switch topic, immediately I will scroll to the very bottom. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult and unnecessarily exhausting because I'll be going back and forth topic, and that can be energy draining. But if we keep the topics aligned, then I do this for 2 days without getting tired. And please, instead of sending messages beat by beat by beat like that, bulk them up together, send them send it as a paragraph. That will help us, and that way we read one of your messages, we read someone else's messages. Code Web, what do you think of Poch as a new manager? I think it's a good thing. I think he's a good manager, and I've always argued that he actually overachieved at Tottenham. It's just Tottenham. It's their thing not to win trophies, and they don't invest much in the squad. He took them to two, I think, finals in total. I'm not sure how many in total. With you could say a less than impressive squad. A squad you could say if he had better players, he would have won. Won the trophies that he got to the finals for. But yeah, unfortunately, they don't invest well in their squad. Lavia passes average. Okay, please bob the messages together. At this Pochettino, Chelsea is so slow. I don't think he's going. I think probably everything is done. All that is left, if you ask me, in my opinion, I'd say just the announcement. Just give me 1 second. I have to turn on the AC, otherwise I will fry inside my office here.
Coach, are you there?
I don't think so. I think the process is complete. All that is left is just an announcement. That's at least that's what, in my opinion, that's what I believe is the case. Seaman 254. What is our percentage of getting Osimhen? I don't know. I don't know. Chances are everything we've heard at this point are all just rumors, but there's no way to tell. But for me, I'm not sure. I'm not going to get into the argument whether I want the club to sign him or not. If you ask me, I have my opinion, but I'm not going to get into that because it will lead to an unnecessary argument. If they believe that if Poch wants him and believes like he can get the best out of him, get it to work, then I don't have a problem with that. And I'm serious. Yeah, just give me 1 second. Let me see what we have here. Okay, just give me 1 second. I want to take care of something here quickly, and let's leave again. Let's only discuss the topics when we get to that particular topic. Otherwise, I'm going to skip whatever you have there in the chat. But keep dropping the likes in the chat, people, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Chelsea need to avoid Osimhen. I don't want them to spend too much money on him. That's just my argument. If they really want him, spending something close to 70 million, 100 million, or maybe let me say 100 million is just too much. Are we getting Victor Codeweb? Here's the thing, I'm not too sure, but rumors are that we're pushing for him. But we will get to that in a bit. And the Premier League has officially announced the opening date for the summer transfer window. It opens on June 14th, which is not less than a month actually. We're in May. On June 14th, it closes in will close in September 1st. Yeah, so I look forward to that. So which means silly season has already begun. Since we know the date, we'll start talking to players. And he says here, let me just read that quickly. What that means. It says the Premier League has announced that the summer transfer window will officially open for business on 14th of June 2023. That means the clubs will officially be able to complete incoming and outgoing transfers from the date forward, with the window closing at that is 1 p.m. Is that 1 p.m. 23:00 BST on Friday, September the 1st? Yeah, so not less than a month. But that's, by the way, we move on from that. Let me see what else we have in the chat. So we'll start looking at the items we have lined up. Coach, it is 100% confirmed. Pochettino is coming to Chelsea. Is it? You're asking a question. There's no way to say that's the case, but given everything we're hearing, given that we've heard less of the club interviewing new managers, and the recent rumors, recent talks that we heard, or recent reports in the media, all circulated against Mauricio Pochettino. So to me, most likely him. If it changes, I'd be surprised. So maybe they're just delaying the announcement. And my theory is that they want to leave it until the end of the season. So no matter what happens, Pochettino's announcement would be a sort of distraction and something for the fans to look forward to, if that makes sense. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. And if you're a moderator, keep reminding people to keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. Let's try and get it to 200 likes today. I know we can do that. Will he join us? Or I don't think he changed his mind. I think he's put pen to paper already. That's what I believe is the case. We need a good striker. I don't need a big name striker. I think that makes sense. Anthony, Osita Anthony, I think that makes a perfect sense. Alexander Lacazette have lots of goals, so we also need to go for him. Victor Osimhen, Lacazette will be a good experience, and an experienced head. He could help us lead the attacking area. Plus, he's played in the Premier League before, so it's not a bad suggestion anyway. No, I don't find any official announcement for Pochettino. What is the delay and why? I don't know what the delay is. There has not been any announcement yet. And like I said, I've spoken with regards to what I think, my theory on what I think is the case here. What is the deal with Chelsea and Nkunku? I think it's done. I think the rumors that he's having a rethink, I think it's just absolute nonsense. I think it's just brown envelopes, making exploiting our vulnerability as Chelsea fans, given where we found ourselves already. We find ourselves in a very vulnerable position, or make situation. So they're just exploiting that, knowing that we'll suck up to whatever they say. Poch needs a good midfielder that has good potential. Sign him for maybe 2-3 years and see how. Yeah, maybe that will help us. And Chelsea all the way says, I can see a 450 million worth of talent. Imagine we get those 6 players and sell 15. Net spend will be 100 million and still have enough to say, balance the book a bit. I think that would make sense. 600 million on 16 players is not big money. They want all team on the new type of contract. Yeah, I think the is it called, how is it pronounced again? Amortization, or I've forgotten the correct pronunciation for that word. The term for that. We need. You mean Ugarte? You mean Ugarte? We need. It's pronounced Ugarte, by the way. We need Ugarte. I watched him play. I hope we can get him so that Enzo can play his preferred position, or maybe be more adventurous. I think Enzo will still be starting from a deeper area, if that makes sense. Keep dropping the likes. 31 likes looks like. Yeah, we're really working to get it to 100 likes as soon as possible today. Good morning to you, Oladipupo Mesole, my bro. Always nice to see you. So let's get into the items we have lined up here. I think the first one is this. If you're in the chat, let me know if you've seen the Mudryk story. I think he took a picture. I'm not sure if he was in the gym, or maybe somebody shared the video, and he also went ahead and posted it on his Instagram profile. So is it Joey Swoy? Is that the guy's name? He I'm not sure. Maybe that picture was taken, that video was taken in his gym, because he says he's a gym owner, CEO of Gym Positivity. I'm not sure what that means actually. To me, it's absolute nonsense. I wouldn't bother myself. People do lots of do things like that all the time. Do I condone that? I'd say I don't, and I don't do such myself. But to me, it's nothing, to think too much about, or to talk to. It's nothing. It's no big deal for me. So I wouldn't waste my time talking about it. So I'm gonna move on from that one as soon as possible. I remember I told you the moment I switch topics, I will always scroll to the very bottom so that the topics are aligned. So because it can be exhausting to be switching from one topic to the other. So please keep the topics aligned and bulk your messages up and send them as a paragraph. Question: do you think our players save us from Red Bull Leipzig 2.0 with sabotage? Here's the thing. Here's what I think. Well, I miss you, by the way, Eugene. I hope you're well. Here's what I think, and pardon me, let me take a sip of my coffee before I lose my voice. What I believe, I could be wrong, but I hope I'm right. I think they will, copy the Red Bull model, but only the good things, what they've done right, things that have worked out for them. I don't think it will be, I don't think they do it and do it to an extent where it would be detrimental to the progress of the club or to the success of the club. That's what I believe. It hasn't started yet, but let's see what they do with it. But I don't think they do that. It's not even possible. Poch needs to come quick, coach. These young players need a father figure. Shaking my head, Mudryk cannot be serious. To me, honestly, I don't read too much into that. It happens all the time. Do I think it's a good thing? No. Do I condone it? No. And I wouldn't do it myself. But he's a kid, and this kid's it's just because he's a popular he's a popular athlete. So when he does such thing, people will take it and run with it. So I just don't advise anybody to do such thing. What is the big deal about Mudryk taking the picture? Why people are overreacting? Was he even the one that that recorded the video? I'm not sure, but I'm going to move on from that anyway. It's a big deal. It shows you player personality. Okay. Like I said, we all see things from different lenses. We see things differently. For me, I don't make a big deal out of it. Please, who do you prefer between Lavia and Caceido? We'll get to that particular topic in a bit, Osita. Right now, we're talking about the Mudryk's case. I think Chelsea need two midfielder strikers and a trusted goalkeeper who will keep us in game, like what Peter Cech did for us. I think we need more than that. I get it. When I made the argument that we need a central attacking midfielder capable of producing, clear-cut chances from the central areas of the pitch to help us diversify our chance creation, so that we don't just create chances from just from the flanks and on the carpet, which is very predictable. If we can create chances from the central area and Enzo playing from deep, but with the independence to be more adventurous on the pitch, he can also create chances from deeper positions. And we have somebody closer to the final third to also create chances there, be able to split defenses and create chances from the central area. That will go along with, which means no matter how teams defend, would still, would still do well if you get would still be able to create clear-cut chances and score goals, if that makes sense. And I follow Joey Swell on Instagram. Okay, yeah, I know, but to me, I wouldn't make a fuss of that. Okay, you guys are having a conversation there. I like it when I see that. People forget he's young. Kids do that. Yeah, exactly. And I believe he's going to learn from this one. Why are we making issues from this stuff of Mudryk? Who know what behind it? I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not going to waste my time on it, but I'm going to talk to my bro and to my brother from the medieval land. Big up to you, bro. Whenever you get a chance, please do share the link to your channel in the chat so people can go check it out. Tabeho, what do you make of the Mudryk story? To you, I want to hear your thoughts.
Man, it's for me. It's not a big deal. Is a funny thing to do, but again, it's not a big deal. It's not like it's beating someone or taking a video of someone is naked and stuff. So it's not a big deal. Yes, he's young. Hopefully, he will learn from this.
It's not a good behavior, but it's not something we should be, speaking about like he killed someone. But go ahead. I don't condone that. I'm sure you're the same. But go ahead with what you're saying, brother.
Yeah, I don't condone. I don't condone that. That's why, like, I hope he's seen this video from the owner of the gym, and then he can move on from that. Hopefully, he won't do this again because it's not good, especially when you're a top professional. So hopefully, he won't do it again. But again, it's not a big deal for me.
And it's something that's very common with kids. And for me, I'd say the gym owner himself is just, for me, it's just an opportunist, if that makes sense. That's how I see it. It's not something to make too much noise about, honestly. But yeah, he shouldn't be doing that. But I'm just going to move on from that particular topic in a bit. Mudryk's story is just a waste of time and energy. That's how I see it too. What else do we have here? Just having a conversation there. People make issues with Mudryk, which is a normal deal. We try to control so much, and then the real racism comes out when it comes out. Yeah, and nobody does anything about that. Now, big up to you, my bro. Glenn, always nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. I appreciate that. I hope your day is going well. I hope yours is going well too, Chama. I appreciate you kindly saying that. Let's see what else we have. Just saying hello, Constantine. Always nice to see you. Vinny Jr. Provokes everyone. Now he's crying. I'm not sure what you're saying there. I'm not sure what you're saying there. Maybe you're not following the story of what happened. Players are a mirror of the club. You could say that, so that's why they should watch their behavior. I prefer Emiliano Martinez for 2 or 3 seasons, then give Gabriel Slonina a chance afterwards. Some people are saying Gabriel Slonina should stay with the club and play cup games. And my argument is cup games alone will not be enough for his development. He needs to be playing constantly. And I think there's a chance we'll help him find a club where he can be starting game week in, week out and, mature and again, mature, should I say, and progress well. He's a professional athlete mocking an old geezer in the gym. He's getting slack because he's had more blunders on TikTok than he's had goals this season. That's a solid argument. He should focus on playing football. Like I said, I don't condone that. I don't think it's a good thing, but I wouldn't waste my time on it, really. This one here, I like this one. I think I've read this. It says Chelsea have decided against holding an end of a season awards night after their troubled season. The club felt a ceremony at Stamford Bridge would be inappropriate given they are languishing in the bottom half of the table and will register their lowest ever points total in the Premier League. So I agree with this one. It wouldn't make any sort of sense to hold an end of the season ceremony, which to me would practically mean that we're celebrating not doing well. So I like that one. Tabo, I don't know if you have anything to say with regards to them canceling the end of the season. You could call it party, really, but what you have to say, Tabeho?
It is a brilliant decision because there's nothing to celebrate about. Our season have been poor, so should we celebrate a failure season? No, I think this shows that to the players. Next season, you need to step up. You need to do more in order to make this individual awards. So I think it's a brilliant season. Only the women's team deserve this, not men's team, man.
No, we shouldn't be celebrating that because if it's a ceremony, it's a type of celebration, and we shouldn't. There's nothing to celebrate really. I mean, if anything, it'd be shameful to say we're hosting an end of the season party for what? For ending the season with the club's the lowest point ever in the club's history. It doesn't make any sort of sense. Glenn very well put there. Mudryk will win a Young Player of the Year award next season. He's capable of doing that. I'm not judging him, if I'm being honest here. How will people attack him? But Glenn makes a good point. He should watch his behavior. As much as I think I don't make too much of that, I still think it's not a good behavior. Women's team deserve their award, though. Yeah, they do deserve that. So they probably most likely will hold it, except if they feel in the pain, as Chelsea as a club overall didn't do well, but the women, then maybe not do it because they feel like the club as an entity did not do well. But I'd say let them go ahead and celebrate it. They deserve to celebrate. Yeah, that's how I see it. Well, at least that's one a good decision Chelsea have made about awards. I think I agree. This says from Eugene says we need elite players over top a system. I have no doubt that Real are going to cook Man City next season with fresh legs, and well, let them meet next season first. But this season, Man City cooked them. Man City actually literally mopped the floor with them. Players, they want to get like a Bellingham and Mbappe. Let's see what happens. But we move on from that. We've talked about this. I don't know if you're in the chat and you have anything else to say with regards to that. You go ahead, shoot for it. We have 39 likes, people. It looks like we're going to get it to 200 likes today. Let's make it happen. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Yep, 39 likes. Let's get it up. And let me see, Glenn, actually, I'm just paying attention. You just changed your name to Glenn 10. I think I like that. Glenn 10, it sounds good. I'm not too worried for Mudryk. He will learn with time, just pointing it out, because when Mount takes a picture with Santa Claus or when he dances with his girlfriend, it's a big issue. People will find a way to complain about it. And apologies for remixing your comment in the chat there. But yeah, that's this one for me. Let's move on from the club now hosting end of the year party. Why even talk about awards for the for the male team? Awards for failure or what? Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's like Tabel said, it's a brilliant decision not to do that, because the fans would have. The fans would be cooking them right now had they not cancelled it or not decided to not to host one this year. And this topic here says men's players but the award will still go to the players. It says men's player of the season, academy player of the season, and goal of the season will still be presented before the Newcastle game, but they're not going to hold an event for it in particular. For me, I would have said don't even do this. But let's just appreciate those who did well to some extent. And your worst performance of the year goes to drum roll. Yeah, maybe I think we should do that too. But I'm glad they did that. Let's see what else we have here. Award Joker of the year. Oh my goodness, that's just 1 second. This AC doesn't look like it's working. I'm really burnt, sweating here. Tabeho, you can go ahead. You can go ahead. Be speaking. I'm coming.
Okay, no problem. So, guys on the chat, just hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Also, let us know how do you feel about the Lukaku situation. I'm sure you guys saw interview, and also coach will just move to the topic also. So, what is your thoughts about Romeo Lukaku's recent interview about Chelsea, and how do you feel about that? And again, guys, as I said before, we need to move on from Lukaku because you can see Lukaku is happy at Chelsea, at Inter Milan. So no need to worry about him going back to Chelsea. Also, those reports saying Pochettino will talk with him. It's just BS, man. We all know that the kid doesn't want to come to Chelsea. Let him go. Let him leave. Let him be happy in Inter Milan. We move on from that. Hopefully, we get a new striker.
Yeah, in the case of Lukaku, I don't know if he has to say it in French before we understand he doesn't
Coach,
want us.
are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm back. Can you hear me?
Coach.
Yeah, can you hear me? Maybe you cannot hear me, but I'm sure if you're in the chat and you can hear me, please do let me know. I'm saying with the case of Lukaku, maybe he needs to say in French that he doesn't want to come back to Chelsea before we take him seriously. I think, I don't think we should bother ourselves about him. He doesn't want to come back home. So even if he comes back, we should try and have a conversation with him and maybe find a way to terminate his contract. That will actually save us money long term. I think we'll go to Lukaku. We'll get to it in a bit. I think it's farther away if I can find it quickly. Would you take Saliba as a free agent? You're talking about the Arsenal defender. Didn't he extend
Yes.
or has he extended or they're still
No,
struggling
not
to get
yet.
into? He's extended, right?
Not yet.
Not yet. I would take him. I think he's a fine defender. He's also good on the ball. I would take him one time. Pep encourages his players to have more and more from clubbing and slipping around. So clearly a Pep system works. Wow. Okay. If we do an award ceremony for the men's team, then what would the prize be? An extra 2 million to their wage? Maybe. Good question. I'm not sure what we're going to do with that. The honor roll for what's is looming. I think they should do that. Drum roll for the worst player of the season, maybe. Big up, Eugene. Let me see what else we have here. Okay, thank you so much for confirming that. This is question: would you make take Mbappe over any striker? If it's available, I'd take him. I'd take him, even though I wouldn't mind. I think he also wouldn't mind playing in as a winger, but I'll take him immediately. That's for sure. But do I think Chelsea will get a chance to sign him back? I don't think so. We all know he's bent again. He's hell bent on joining Madrid, and if he leaves if he gets to leave PSG on a free, he join Madrid. It's as simple as that. But we move on from this topic here. We go to this one, and this is some good news also for some people who's been complaining. And for me, I didn't like it. Again, I didn't like he's gotten involved so much that it's become irritating. And then he gave the press the opportunity to make up stories that he's done that, badged into the dressing room during first half and all that. Which there's a chance that's the truth, but you can say we heard so much that if you analyze information before deciding whether to believe it or not, you'd know that some of them are actually absolute nonsense. Okay, so this one here says Todd Boehly is dialing back his involvement at Chelsea FC. People with knowledge of the matter said as he focuses on the ventures after a difficult fourth season in charge of the football club. The U.S. businessman is now spending about 20% of his time on day-to-day activities at the West London club, down from around 50%. To me, that's good news. Before I bring in Tobeho to speak of that, and if you're in the chat, I want to get your thoughts. What do you make of the fact that he's dialing down his involvement? To me, that's good news, really. Let's see what else we have here. Mbappe doesn't want to play a striker role, doesn't he? I mean, you can get him in that in a fluid approach. I think he'd like that, but I think he does well when he operates he does better when he operates from the flanks and with space to exploit. I think flanks will be better, but I don't think he comes to Chelsea anyway. Wally Waldo, big up to you, by the way. Thank you so much for finding the time to join. I appreciate you. Mbappe, yep, I've read that one from my bro, Wally Waldo. This says I put him in left wing back. Oh my goodness, that's a silly question, Eugene. He knows exactly what he's doing, but I like conversations with Eugene. Drop a like on the video and hit subscribe for more Chelsea content. And yes, people, the likes do go a long way. And for some of you, those of you that are watching and for one reason or the other, not able to participate in the chat, we appreciate you because you watching alone does go a long way. But if you can do us one favor, one tiny bitty favor, please do take a second, drop a like on the stream. We'd really appreciate that. It will help us trigger the YouTube algorithm and help get more people to join the show. If Todd Boehly and his partners can bring LeBron James to Lakers, we we can bring Mbappe. I love that one. I think, but Mbappe has to want to come to Chelsea first of all. But I understand where you're coming from. I get a striker and another midfielder, and I will be happy. I'm okay with keeping Kepa and Mendy. A lot of people are not. And for me, I think if we can solidify, our defense can become solid. I think we'd recognize how good our goalkeepers are actually. We're not the Lakers. Real Madrid is the Lakers. This article is misleading. He still spends just as much time at the club, just 30% less in the dressing room. If at least that's a good thing. If he spends 30% less time in the dressing room, that's huge, really. Coach, would you take Mourinho over Poch if he wins a Europa League with Roma? Here's the thing. Mourinho will win us something. Straight up. But here's one thing you have to bear at the back of your mind. After a year, Chelsea fans will hate him because forget entertaining, forget good football. For Mourinho, it's about winning. Every time we play against big teams, be rest assured with prefer approach the game by just defending deep and hitting the opposition on the break. But we only play really well when we play teams that were far better than, if that makes sense to you. To me, he's not progressive enough. That's how I see it. But he's one of the best managers in world football. Questioning if we do get Rice, where do you think we'll play him? No, not a CM. It's not anything close to me. If anybody sees him as a CM, I question their knowledge of football. He's a traditional DM, a good DM at that. Even though he's not my first choice, he's a good DM in the sense then he's capable of slotting seamlessly into the centre back role. To cover up if the center back overlaps, and he can actually be asked to fulfill the center back role, and he would do that effectively. So that makes him a unique player to have in the team. Now Saliba hasn't renewed his Arsenal contract. Chelsea should tap him off and put a cheeky bid, and Arsenal will sell, preventing him going for free. I think they will. So we should give it a shot. But do I think we need a defender now? I don't think we need defenders now, really. No Real Lakers. Okay, LeBron. What else do we have here? Poch needs to make sure everyone who stays is 100% committed in all putting in the same direction. Lukaku doesn't seem committed to us like that. Team bonding is so important, and when team bonding is a priority, you don't need a character such as that of Lukaku that will come in and cause divisions in the dressing room. So it wouldn't make any sort of sense. Hopefully, they have a conversation with him, like we've been told a few weeks ago that that's going to happen, and that's when they decide what to do with Lukaku. Big up to you, Santiago Muno. I hope you're doing well. Just having a conversation with Constantine Dante there. I honestly think Mourinho and the whole Chelsea board wouldn't get along. They will not. Yep. So you're paying attention. You do know who Mourinho is quite well. I think I wouldn't say he has an ego issue, but he's a big character and will not accept you telling him what to do at any time. That's besides it, actually. Besides that, there's also the factor that Mourinho, he has a history. There's a pattern to how long he stays at all the clubs he's coached. He hasn't stayed more than 3 years. And the owners are looking for a manager where if things work out, they give that manager a long-term contract to stay beyond 3 years and more. And Mourinho isn't that guy. So it would not have made any sort of sense for them to go for him. Let's see. What else we have here? Rashi, Mason Mount is coming into Old Trafford, but just pay up. Listen, as much as I think he's a good player, if they can't find an agreement, I wouldn't go again. I wouldn't go start blaming just the club. It's just simply, to me, it simply means it hasn't worked out. It's as simple as that, and now move on from it. Mount and Rice fit in Arsenal. If Arteta wants players like Pep, wants to play like Pep, Mount and Odegaard behind the striker, and Rice like a makeshift with White, Saliba, and Gabriel. That's a good. You can say I think they will help them, but I don't think Arsenal. I don't think would be willing to sell to Arsenal. That's how I see it. Mr. Baldi want a Mason Mount. I have to trust them. Okay, just pay up. Like I said, coach, if we miss on midfielders in the market, given we are not playing in the Champions League next season, can Levi Cole play as a DM? No, I'd rather see Reece James there than Levi Cole. I don't think so. That's how I feel. Tom Abiodakun, nice to see you, Tom. I hope you're doing well. Hello to you too. What else do we have here? We should have never sold Tammy Abraham. We should have loaned him out to Roma. The question is, Tammy himself wanted to leave, if that makes sense. And Roma didn't want a loan. They wanted to buy him. The only thing we did was to insert a buyback clause. And do I think we should bring Tammy back? I'd say no. I don't think he's that guy we're looking for. But if the manager feels like he will help us solve is part of the solution we're seeking, then bring him back. I'll take it. But for me, I'd say no. I think we're risking a Lukaku 2.0. As much as I think he has a better touch than Romelu Lukaku, and probably a better all-round player than Lukaku is. He has definitely proved himself in Italy and would be a great striker for the club. I'd say that again. I don't think so. We have been selling it to Arsenal for decades. Amount wouldn't change that. And we did sell. We actually sold Jorginho to them. So if they're serious, if they pay up, I think we'd sell it to him. Sell Mount to them. That is, if they don't find a solution, of which I want them to find a solution. But if it doesn't work out and they decide to sell him, I'll move on. Really, like this. I won't even waste time blaming the club or blaming Mount. No, I'll just move on. I'll just say it didn't work out. Nagelsmann also rejected Tottenham. It shows ego issues with him. Glad we didn't go for him. And plus, the nonsense is his agent started saying in the media just doesn't make any sense, which sounds like something you'd hear from children. Tobias, I don't know if you have anything to add with regards Todd Boehly, as I said, dialing back his involvement at the club activities. Not really activities, you could say day-to-day activities, maybe. Yeah, it's still correct, but go ahead.
Yeah, to be honest, every owner is going to be hands-on, especially after buying a new club. And also in business, after buying a new company, it's gonna be a hands-on until everything is where you want, where it should be.
Until things stabilize, maybe.
Yes, and then you're gonna step back and maybe look into another market and stuff. That's business. So every time when Todd Boehly was doing business at Chelsea, I wasn't annoyed because things like this eventually will happen. And then he said it on his one of interviews. They're asking about LA Dodgy. He said like it's gonna be hands-on. After that, it's gonna hire aspect. After hiring aspect, it's gonna leave those aspects do their job. So I wasn't stressed about this. And then also it's a good thing. Maybe those Chelsea fans that are doubt him, they can now relax. And hopefully now the directors can cook Chelsea and then we'll be successful again. We need to be successful again. I'm so annoyed every time Man City winning trophies like nobody's business. We need to be there also. Hopefully in next two to 3 years we'll be there also.
Yeah, I think we'll be there. Like I've said, I think we can actually we can actually get there quicker than a lot of people think we would. We just have to be strategic in the market. We don't just have to. We don't have to go into. We shouldn't go into the market and throw money at players for the sake of it or because they're big name players. We should look at assess the team, of which I believe Pochettino must have done by now or is still doing, and then point out areas that need reinforcement, and then go into the market and sign players that will help us, solve those issues, and not just sign players for the sake of it. I think I hope we don't see a situation where the club aren't looking where Chelsea aren't looking to sign too many players in the summer as we think they do, given the fact if they're really looking to bring back Andres Santos, where is he gonna? How are they gonna accommodate him? If they're still looking to sign a player in the midfield area and all that, so it's not that simple. Hopefully, they do the right thing, take the time to assess the squad properly, and then figure out what are areas that we need reinforcements, and do it correctly, and not just throw money at players. Yeah, and we should start actually looking to sell players, and I think they're doing that already. Because if we sell, that's how we do it. That's how we approach it. Clubs will see it as desperate, and of course, you could argue that once we sell a player, then if we're looking for replacement, then we're desperate. Technically, we're desperate, and the selling clubs will milk the life out of us. Cannot believe that Mount is leaving. Here's the thing: I get Johnny's frustration. He's a Mount fan. He loves Mount so much as I don't think Mount is the worst player at Chelsea. I don't think he's the best either. I think he's a good player. I have my argument, and every time I just hate repeating myself. The Mount's biggest issue is that he hasn't been coached properly. The only time he was coached very well was his academy days, and when he went on loan in the Netherlands. After that, the rest of everyone else has his managers that he's worked under has always prioritized his industry, the amount of running he does on the pitch and all that, and not help him become better, because there's an excellent player in him, but unfortunately, managers prefer his industry rather than help him become better, if that makes sense. Yeah, but for me, if he leaves, I'll just say it as it does. It didn't work out. Apia, Oyene, Melvin, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. I appreciate that. If Mount leaves, can we look at Slobozai? His passing is exquisite. Isn't he? I think we were linked with him. Is he what? Are you talking about Attila? Attila Slob, is that his first name? If that's the guy you're talking about, then he's a defender. Am I mixing things up here? Or maybe the names?
It's not a defender.
But what's the defender we were linked with before that the name sounds similar to? Why am I mixing things up here? Go ahead. Do you know him that well? Do you think we need him? Should go for him or if Mount leaves?
What a player, Dominic Slavoslai.
Oh, the name I was mixing up with Attila Slazai. Yeah, go ahead.
What a player. He plays for a Red Bull Leipzig. Oh, man, what a player. So, but anyway, to be honest, coach, as you said before, we don't need many players now. We just need to offload a lot of players and then buy 2 to 3 players. That's it. If it's necessary. If it's not, don't buy anyone, because you have so many players, and then you can see now we made so many changes in the squad. We don't need that anymore. We need stability. We need to have a starting level that is consistent. Not every coach chop and changing players. Maybe feels like some players won't be happy because they're not starting. So hopefully next season we're gonna trim the squad very well. Maybe 25 to 26, 27 players that will work for us. Hopefully, not many more players. But Dominic Slovoslav, what a player, coach.
Coach, would you like a Caceido in the midfield? Oh, yeah, sure. Ryan Winter. But do I think we can afford him in the summer? I don't know what's going to happen. I'm concerned. Again, I've always argued that the club's priority in the summer would be 3 things: sell players, buy players, and also balance books. I don't think all the money we'll make from player sales will go into buying new players. That's what I think the case will be. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. So Boehly, hands-on created disaster than stabilizing. That's a solid argument. Yeah, but I really want to move on from their mistakes. We can't change that. But I like it that they've realized that they've made mistakes, and they've probably learned the importance of handing things over to those that understand how football works. Santos must play next season more than a lot of our midfielders except Enzo. That begs the question: if we're going to keep him, how are we sure we're going to be able to have space to accommodate him to play enough to keep developing and not just waste his time? Simon Dojo, coach, good day to you too. Please, what is the real problem with Mason Mount. Why is he not signing up, putting pen to paper for a new contract? I'm not sure. I've never been at the table where they've had one of the discussions. Some say it has something has to do something like image rights. Some say it's how much Mason Mount is asking. Some say it's the length of the contract. There's no way to tell. But I'm suspecting it may well be due to the new contract format or contract construct, if you prefer, that he doesn't like it that much. But yeah, I don't know. I have to be honest. Doesn't make a sense to spend big money on Ugarte when you have just 2 years younger and better footballers as Santos. Wow, you think Santos is better than Ugarte? Wow. If you're considering that Santos better than Ugarte, then how about Caceido, the guy on loan at Raiden, the kid on loan at the Italian international? How do you see him? Dominic, okay, now I remember the name. I was mixing it up. But thank you. I don't know him that well to make an argument of whether we should go for him or not. And I don't like doing that. I can't just pretend I know him well enough. Would you take Zubimendi? He's a good DM. Remember, I think we were linked with him last summer. We end up not going for him. I think Poch will play 4-3-3 and not his standard system. Okay, let's see. Let's see what he does. Why do you think that will not be the case?
To be honest, if you can check Chelsea how we play, ever since Carlo Ancelotti left Chelsea, and we used 4-3-3. Have we been successful with 4-3-3? We've been so bad because we don't have those kind of players anymore. We used to have SCN, Lampard, who's that? Alex. Players that know their roles very well. You name them. But now at Chelsea, we don't have those players anymore, unless we buy 3 quality midfielders or 2 quality midfielders that can play the system along with Enzo. So, man, to be honest, I don't think so, coach. But we'll see. We'll see, and from next season or from pre-season, we can get an idea how will Mauricio Pochettino plays. But again, Pochettino likes 4-2-3-1 always. 4-3-3 it's not his thing, to be honest.
But maybe he mix it up, but predominantly he's going to play with 4-2-3-1. This is yeah. Go ahead. You were saying something. Let me catch up and bring in Eddie as soon as possible. Go ahead, brother.
So SPS used to play 4-2-3-1 and 3-4-3, or 3-4-1-2 always. I never see him playing 4-3-3 unless at PSG.
Yeah, but let's see what he does when he comes in. Interesting update from Matt Law. Poch wants to be at Chelsea long term, but Todd gave him a target to win a Premier League or Champions League in his first 3 years contract for a renewal. That's the sort of thing you could say they should have done with the case of Graham Potter. But you could argue they've learned a valuable lesson from that mistake. And that's why they started with a 3-year contract and saying, okay, if it works well, then we'll extend. Why we need a replacement for Mount, I don't know. I don't think we need a replacement for him. That's if he leaves, hopefully they'll find an agreement and he stays, because I still think there's a good player in him. We need at least 4 players, 2 midfielders, a DM and a CM, a striker and a right wing if Pulisic, Ziyech are leaving, which may well be the case. Zoboslai is just an average player. Some argument right there. I'm going to bring in AD. AD, I want you to speak. Big up to you, more importantly. I want you to talk about the current topic we have on the screen here. Todd Boehly scaling or dialing back, or maybe scaling back his involvement at the club. What do you make of that? If you want to speak about that. But go ahead. Big up to you. It's been a while.
Hi, big up, bro. Big up Tobago. Yeah. It's the best thing for him to do. He can't be in the picture anymore, because the more people hear that name Todd Boehly, especially among Chelsea fans, it's just like somebody who comes for destruction. Because most of his decisions have not worked. So the best thing for him is to just step aside a little bit and go out of the picture for a while. Let other people handle the situation and let things. Even if he will be having any influence, he shouldn't be the headline. He shouldn't be taking the headlines. because most of his decisions have not come out good for us so far. So I think it's the best thing for him to do, so that whatever is happening, because if these decisions he had taken had worked, then you would have seen more of him talking, coming out, and everybody will be welcoming whatever he says. But now, the more he talks, the more apprehensive people are about what's going to turn out, because like his decisions have not worked. Like you just alluded to a few minutes ago about giving just the 3-year contract to Pochettino instead of giving the 5 to Potter. That's been untested. You've not seen he's not won anything. You just give a 5-year contract. That was a big mistake. So I think he's learning. Yeah, he's learned from it. So I think it's the best thing for him to do. Even if he's taking any decisions, he shouldn't be taking the headlines. It should be the directors coming out to talk more, and then let it be as if they are the ones. Obviously, we're having input to whatever decisions are taken, but he should go back and then let others take decisions, and then it come out in the open that these decisions are actually like jointly taken, but more of the input of the directors and all. And then we see how it goes. And then as soon as it starts working, then people will be listening more to the directors talking rather than trying to see Todd Boehly take decisions, because, as I said, his decisions have not worked so far.
And even after this report that he's dialing back his involvement at the club, even if he does it to, let's say he's dialed it down to 20%, even if it is 1%, people will still, link back whatever problem we're having to him until things stabilize properly at the club. That's how I see it.
Exactly.
That's just the situation right now. Yeah, people will always be calling him, blaming him. But go ahead if you wanted to add to that.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, whatever he says, whatever happens now going forward, all we just need is start winning, get Chelsea back. Like I just read a few minutes ago about cancelling the night, award nights and everything they used to do.
Go ahead, talk about that if you want to.
Yeah, exactly. They've cancelled it. That it's not worth having it, and it's true. That's a fact. I mean, there's been a very terrible situation this year. It's been a very bad. I mean, it made me some point. If you see, I've not been on to this program because it just kind of demoralized me. I find it hard to talk about, even to watch. To be honest, I find it torturing. Sorry.
Nothing positive at all.
No, nothing positive. It just makes me. I just lost interest in this. Even sometimes Chelsea playing, I'll be watching something else. That's how bad it's been. To be honest, I know. I mean, it's hard because you don't know what to get. I mean, you watching your team losing or not playing well. I mean, it's quite demoralizing. So I just left it for a while. I wasn't even watching till the end of this season just end. Let the season end and then let's see a new start. Hopefully, it begins well for us. But I know next season is going to be tougher than what we've experienced because other teams are coming up. Newcastle will be strong. Liverpool will be strong. As you can see, they need about 3 midfielders and they've started already. They've started like I read about them having a deal for McAllister already. And they're pushing to get Mason Mount. They're pushing to get Gravenberch or something. They're pushing. So they'll be stronger. Manchester United will be stronger. So it's going to be a very tough season next season. So we cannot afford to lag behind. Whatever decisions he wants to take, like I read, they said Pochettino will be taking over. Maybe it'll be announced on the 1st and then it'll be 1st of June. And then we know that the transfer window will be opening on the 14th of June. So they need everything needs to be done quickly, especially getting players out of the books as quickly as possible. Then we know what's the shape of the squad start taking shape, and then it increases expectations and then make people to at least have positive thinking going into the new season.
Yeah, thank you so much, AD. That's why I always like to have you on the panel here. I appreciate that input from you. With the horrible racist rubbish happening with Vinicius Jr. in Spain, if he's had enough in one side, Boehly should be the first in the offering a home at Chelsea. I don't think that will make him decide to leave Real Madrid. I don't think so, but I get where you're coming from. 4-2-3-1 and 4-3-3, and not much difference. Just numbers. You could argue, which means you could actually start with one. You could, deploy a hybrid approach where, a mix of both actually depends. But I'm not sure. I think there's a difference there. 2 6s in one, and the other one just 1 6 and 2 CMs flanking the 6. It depends really on the approach, but they don't differ that much. I agree, but still. That much is a lot. Not that much is a lot. Hallelujah. Boehly less involved is the best news I've heard in a while. I think we all could argue the same. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. It looks like Truly, we're going to get it to 200 likes today, but it's up to you. Only if you feel like we can. We're at 57 likes. Let's get it to 60 and shoot for 70, 80, and 100. This says 3 years for Poch to win the league. That's based on what evidence? Chelsea almost got relegated. I hope Boehly is okay. Here's the thing. Like I said, I think we have a good squad, but not an excellent squad. We just need to be strategic in the market in the summer. And before you attack me, Chelsea, all the way, that is my opinion. Please, that is my opinion. If we can be strategic in the summer, we can actually do better than a lot of the people expect us to do in the 23-24 season. Yes, people, you people are absolute legend. 58 likes. We can get it to 100 as soon as possible. And if you're in the chat and you're a moderator, keep reminding people to keep dropping the like so that I will concentrate on hosting the show and talk less about liking the stream. This year, the dinosaur in the room, it's grown bigger than an elephant. Talking about Romelu Lukaku, it says Romelu Lukaku suggests he wasn't fully into the mega Chelsea transfer on a long-term basis. That's an insult, really. What else do we need to hear to just move on from this guy? I know it's not easy. But this has become an insult on all levels, really. For him to say this, I have no way to confirm if he did this. If there's a video version of it, I'd like to watch it. I was good at Chelsea last season, but I knew then that if I didn't work out at Chelsea, I still had Inter Milan. So, which means, yeah, I agree with the introductory paragraph here, which says Romelu Lukaku suggests he wasn't fully into Chelsea mega transfer on a long time. Wow. He's shameless, really. He is shameless. He is Judas. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, coach. If there's something you want to attribute to Lukaku, he's talking. He doesn't learn to. He doesn't know when to talk or when not to talk. He loves, even when he joined Manchester United, you can see he never stopped talking. He loves talking, and he's so controversial. For me, I don't know why Chelsea fans and even Pochettino, if the reports we're hearing, if it's anything to go by, that Pochettino is trying to see if he can talk him around. See, if Lukaku wants to come back to Chelsea and be on even say the least paid, I don't want Lukaku. To be honest, there's more to Lukaku than what we can see. He's going to cause trouble. Even if we want to play the whole season without the striker, if it's only Lukaku available for me personally, I don't think we should bring Lukaku back for any reason.
I don't think we should. I know Tabeho would want to say something. Let me just read this one more thing. When I signed again, I knew I belonged here. So he's talking about Inter Milan right now. I had that too at Anderlecht. I take this club seriously. I want to do my best. The people here see that being encouraged here is the best thing. So he practically, indirectly saying he hates Chelsea, really. But Tabeho, you go ahead. What do you make of it? All right, let me.
I said it.
He said.
I said it before a long time ago. As soon as Lukaku pushed for that Inter Milan move to return back, I saw this coming because he doesn't want to be here. And then, we don't know the behind the scene between him and Thomas Tuchel and stuff. But this should be a lesson. Never, never, ever buy a player that doesn't fit into coach system. Because we all knew, even though we are not football experts, but we all knew that Lukaku won't fit to Chelsea. And then Marina or Roman Abramovich or whoever first this move to Chelsea, boom, it backfired and then end up disrespecting the players, the coach and the club. Hopefully we learn from this. But if I was Todd Boehly, after seeing this interview, I was gonna say, look, Inter Milan, you better buy him now. No more options. If you want him, buy him. If another team wants him, buy him. No more loans. Because this guy doesn't love Chelsea. He's keep on disrespecting us. And then, to be honest, even Pochettino's here, I don't think he will fit into Pochettino's style. He's so lazy to do things.
And it's I don't think it's he's not that type that will do well in terms of dropping deep and supporting the play and helping with the build-up and all that. He doesn't have that in him. He thrives when in a counter-attacking team. It's just he doesn't differ that much actually from Timo Werner. He thrives whenever there's space for him to run in behind, and it's just him and the goalkeeper. Once he gets to dribbling someone, not all the time really. Unfortunately, I wouldn't say we're stuck with him because I think if we terminate his contract, we'll be serving quite a long time. And big up to you, Martin. Oh, I hope you're doing well. Always nice to see you. And Eugene says Elephant is best solution for one more year, trying with traditional striker to make a top four. And after that, get a lead player. But lots of Chelsea fans, I'm going to go for Lukaku. Or Marcus Thuram, he's cheap. Marcus Thuram, we were linked with him. And at one point, rumors were that we were in advanced negotiations with his camp that he's going to join us because he will be a free agent at the end in June, I think. But then before then, we knew of his comments that he wants to wait until the end of the season to decide, to take his time to consider his options. That was when I knew that he actually isn't serious to join us. It looks like he's talking with the likes of Barcelona and some other clubs. I don't think he wants to come to us, unfortunately. But he would have been a good option to have. Ran Smons of Bosso. We just don't need that ungrateful guy, please. We don't. I don't think he appreciates Chelsea at all. He doesn't. Look how much we paid for him, and look how he's not even mentioning. He's not even mentioning our name with respect. He's just saying he wasn't 100% after we paid that much money for him, but he agreed and kissed the badge and and all that, all nonsense, all fake. It's shameful, really. He is shameless. For me, he's a Judas. It's about percentage of risk. Yeah, sometimes you just have to take the risk. But hopefully, the rumors that Pochettino is considering giving him a chance at Chelsea, I hope it's not the truth. Even if he's planning on doing that, he should read these and get to understand that no, Lukaku shouldn't be at Chelsea in the coming season. If we bring back Lukaku, he would just tell the media he doesn't want to play at the club anymore. He's shown that he's actually capable of doing that, and shamelessly so. I'm not sure what to make of that. So the press conference has started, so I'm going to be paying attention. Any news, and I'm sure we're all aware of the news that what's his name will be out for a while. You can say one of our favorite defenders in Benoit Badiashile, unfortunately, will be out for a while. And this year, Chelsea is delighted to announce that an option to extend the contract of forward Frank Kibi by a further year has been exercised. What a player he's been for the women's team. I don't know if any of you on the panel would like to talk about him. That's fine. If not, we'll move on from him. This year, move on from this from our story. Thuram doesn't want to play for Chelsea. I think so too, because rumors at that time were that we were talking with his camp, and the talks were at an advanced level at the point. At that time, it turns out I don't know if I should say it were everything we had at the point.
No, coach. No, coach.
That what?
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying? Oh, okay. So it turns out all the things that were said then were all nonsense, or maybe he changed his mind. But I don't think he wants to play for us. I believe that. I believe that argument there from Chelsea all the way. We are in position.
I was about to correct you to say.
Go ahead, Tobeho. You wanted to correct me about something. Go ahead. I'm waiting. Bro.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead. It looks like
you
can hear me. Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead. It looks like your audio is having an issue with your audio.
Yeah,
All
let
right,
me
I'm gonna.
reconnect. I'll come back.
All right, we are in position to spend big on average players. We're gonna break FFP rules, and we are finished for next 10 years. So I would take Lukaku back one more year. I think there's a chance we're okay. Remember, we is it what's the correct pronunciation? Is it amortize? Um, uh, we did that, which means there are other you can say all the issues that's led to that loss. What 300 is it 300 was it a 300 million plus or 200 million plus in loss in financial losses and the past year. I think that can be sorted out. I still believe we will be fine. But my argument is that we're not going to be spending that much on players in the summer. That's just what I believe. But I'm not too sure. I'm not a financial expert by any stretch of imagination. Not in position. Okay, we're not in position. Yep, I agree with you. It'd be a huge risk if you understand what I mean. So we'll move on from this update. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We're at 61 likes. We have a 49. No, we have 39 to get it to 100. Let's make it happen. Thank you so much for all your support. Sincerely, do appreciate that. Let's see what else we have lined up here. And if you hear anything from Frank Lampard's news conference, please do let us know. So this one here says Manchester United have joined the race to sign Mason Mount from Chelsea, and they are launching a 55 million swap for the forward. Wow, some news there. So yeah, Tobeho, go straight to it. You wanted to say something?
No, I just wanted to correct you about saying him instead of
Yeah, I know. Frank Kibbe, right?
yes, Frank
Yeah,
Kevin.
it was a mistake. And you have to disgrace me in public. Like, even with the picture, I'm blind. You and I are going to fight, bro. But thank you, though. I appreciate that, my brother. Let's start. Tavella, if you want to speak with regards to Man United launching a 55 million pounds of a swap for Mason Mount, do you think it happened?
To be honest, I think Mason Mount will leave Chelsea, but again, 55 for me is small. We need more. We need
You
English.
cannot get more. He has just a year left on his contract.
But no coach, no coach. Why, for example, why?
Probably less than a year. Like right now, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure. Just a little above a year, but go ahead.
But again, coach, let's be fair. Why Declan Rice worth 120, Mason Mount worth 55, while Mason Mount won Champions League, Club World Cup, and Super Cup? Ah, come on, man. We want English text also at Chelsea. That's how it is.
I, I understand, but I'm going to be honest with you. Even Declan Rice is not going to go for 100 million. If he has, it depends on how the length of his current, how much he has left on his current contract. If he has less than a year, nobody's going to pay that much money for him, and it will be a risk. The buying clubs have the upper hand if he has just a year left on his contract, or even 2 years. 2 years maybe. Then that's when you can say they have a lot. They have a lot of say with regards to how much they're willing to sell him for. But if he had just about a year, he's not going to go for about 17 million. But go ahead with what you were saying.
Yes, West Ham is on contract ends at 2024 with an option to a further one year contract. That's why West Ham want a lot of money from him. And this team, so like to do these silly things of their players worth this a lot of money. Come on, but again, to be honest, if United one amount be 55, cool. There's a profit for us. We move on with this Mason Mount saga because at the end of the day, as fans, we can give the opinion why Todd Boehly is not giving him money, why he's not signing the contract and stuff. But again, this is Chelsea. No player is bigger than Chelsea. If he doesn't want to sign the contract, let it be. We'll be happy for him to move on. We don't have to be duel about Mason Mount not signing the contract. We are grown-ups, man. Losing likes of Eden Hazard, Arjen Robben, you name them. we are so sad, but again, we move on from that. This is simple. This is football. This is business at the end of the day.
It's business for all parties involved. And if we're here's the thing, if we're calling the owners names or saying that they're bad owners or saying they don't know what they're doing, if Mount ends up leaving, how about the fact there's a chance that Mount is the one who's refused to put pen to paper? I know people don't like to be, again, when we're driven by emotion, in most cases, we don't make sense. We don't seem to be objective when we speak of situations. People don't actually, take into account that the chance Mount is the problem. The chance is the one that has refused to put pen to paper because he wants to leave. And it's business for him. It's business for the new owners. Maybe he feels like leaving would be the best decision for him. And we're all here busy blaming the club. But Eddie, before you go into, details, I'd like you to start by talking about if Mount has just about a year left on his contract, I think that will grow the great influence with regards to how much we can get from selling him, wouldn't it?
Coach, you just put it perfectly. I mean, we just only look at when a player leaves, then we blame the club, especially if it's a player like Mason Mount that I know so many fans would like to keep. But we have to see beyond just saying he wants to leave. But I think for me, it's more likely that he's leaving than staying as it stands now. Because if there was anything that was going to change about talking to him, because at a point we're hearing that Todd Boehly was actually discussing directly with him. And if Todd Boehly has taken that step to discuss directly with him and nothing has come out of it up till this point, because take it or leave it, decisions have to be taken by this summer, or else it goes for free. He'll be a free agent when it comes to the summer, the winter window. He can discuss with any foreign club, and that's not good for Chelsea. So whatever they have to get now, if he doesn't sign, then that has to, because talks coming out from Pochettino, he wants to build around Mason Mount. That could be PR, trying to see, oh yes, they actually like him. It's not as if they want to throw him out of the door. So they want to get more money for him, for any club that is showing interest. It could be kind of PR talk about, oh yes, we want him, I want to build around him, he's a solid player, just to push his value up. But if he ends up going, I don't think it's the end of the world for me, to be honest. If he decides to leave, he can go. But you see, we've come to a point whereby, as Chelsea fans, because of what had happened in the past with the likes of Salah, De Bruyne, and all, so this fear is always this phobia about, oh, what if he turns out to become a superstar? I mean, if we talk about that, which means no club is going to let any of their players leave. That's the truth. So we just have to live with it. You can't keep them all. So we just have to let go, and then we look at the ones we want to bring in. If those ones that come in, the only problem we might have is the ones that we're bringing in, if they don't live up to standard, they don't live up to the expectations, that's when you now go back to say, oh, we should have kept Mount. We shouldn't have allowed him go. The club made a big mistake by letting him go. I mean, we have to look at when Oxlade-Chamberlain left Arsenal. He left to Liverpool. Everybody was thinking, oh, yeah, he's going to be a superstar. But it's not worked out for Liverpool either. He's going to go for, I don't know if it's free or whatever this summer now. It's not worked out. I think they paid about 40 million at that point for him. So it happens, like we have to let some players go if they don't want to stay, especially because coming into this next season now, we don't need any player that will be unhappy or player that will be disruptive in the dressing room, because it's a huge season coming for Chelsea. We can't have bad season back to back. So we can't afford to have this season coming to toy with. We have to just get everything right as much as we can.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. And this year, I say a bidding war would be great for Mount. I think that will up the price. If multiple clubs want his signature, that will help. It will up the price a bit. I think we need to develop Enzo a DM and make upgrade. Bring in a CM instead of downgrading like Ugarte, Lavia, Rice. Wow, some argument there. Mount doesn't it's not worth more than 55 million. Of this Maxwell, I think if he had about 3 years on his contract, I think he's worth more than 55 million. When he's in top form, but unfortunately he's not been in great form of late. The injury hasn't helped either. So that all those factors will actually affect how much he'd go for. Plus how much he still has left on his contract. I agree, Mount should go. Send money as a Rice, but that's not how the market works, unfortunately. Yeah, it doesn't work like that. factors such as how much the individual has on their contract is a huge factor. And big up to you, JC. I think Eugene is there to answer your question. I'm going to move on to that. Shalom and blessings. A blessing to you, Terrence Tips. Always nice to see you. Thank you for finding the time to join the show. Lukaku should not be allowed into Chelsea again. Broya is there next season after the injury. And also, to me, I wouldn't mind us giving Dr. Fofana an opportunity. Someone that cannot defend. His inability, to support the team defensively is the least of my concern. If he's able to participate in the play, drop deep, help build up, it doesn't, again, I don't like the sort of striker that will be on the pitch and always be in the box and just all they want is for you to just get the ball to them so that they can put it away. What if we're not able to do that? Then that person becomes useless. I want a striker just like in the mode of Harry Kane. He's able to drop deep. He's able to create chances for his teammate. I would argue that Harry Kane is actually capable of playing as a 10, if that makes sense. But that's, by the way, we'll move on from that. This here says Axel Mount for 30 million. I hope we get that much money from his sell, if that makes sense. Let's see what else we have here. Lavia is a talent, but he needs to develop because he is not ready for a club like Chelsea that wish to compete for the title. And if you are following, if you're following the story, even the rumors are that Chelsea scouts, after watching him, they observed some deficiencies that they don't like. They don't think it'd be a good signing for Chelsea. And also, Lavia, he's not the biggest of players. Let me just put it that way. We need a mix of physicality. You don't have to be all physical, but you have to also be good on the ball or aggressive. And Lavia actually isn't the most aggressive, and I don't think he'd make a good DM for us, really. Even though I like him, but I don't think he's that player. That's what I think. I know he's good. That's not me saying he's a bad player at all. I understand that. Let's see. If Inter Milan cannot buy Lukaku, Chelsea should just let him rot in the academy. I think if that's the case, just terminate his contract. He'd save us money a long time. If that makes sense. That's the one thing I'd do. Let's see what else we have here. Please stop with the Lavia. The kid is not special, not even close. I don't want to even talk about his pass for a midfielder. And yeah, Chelsea, according to reports, Chelsea scouts, they don't think he's the one for us. I think I'm not sure who they're prioritizing right now, but by the time the transfer market opens, I think we'll have a clear idea the players that the clubs are prioritizing to sign in the summer. Don't forget, next season, all our old signings will be taking 30% cut, 30% pay cut, not the new signings. So people, if you're watching, please keep dropping the likes on the stream. We're at 66 likes. Let's take it to 70. Shoot for 80 and 100 as soon as possible. The likes do go a long way. Thank you so much for always finding the time to join the show. So we'll move on from this one here. What else do we have here? I think the topics are popping up. Manchester United will launch a 55 million for Mason Mount and may be prepared to increase their initial bid with Old Trafford. Old Trafford sources indicating that talks are set to commence. Wow, it's gotten that far. Okay, let's see how that happens. I hope Chelsea find a solution and keep him because I think he's a good player. There's a good player in him. But under a manager like Pochettino, I think he'd do even better. But if it doesn't work out and he leaves, that's fine. It's business for all parties involved. Let's talk about this man here. Chelsea is still pushing for Victor Osimhen, and they want him as the new striker. He is at the top of the list. I understand that there are price expectations of about 110 million euros plus bonuses at this stage. Chelsea need to sell, and no Champions League might be a problem. Eddie, what do you make of that story? And do you think Osimhen will be a good fit for Chelsea under Pochettino? I had my concerns on the ground Potter because I know ground Potter well enough to say he doesn't play with traditional strikers. And Osimhen, all his life, he's played as a traditional a stereotypical number 9. But I've come to the realization that he's just still 23, which means there's still room for him to learn new things and adapt. That's how I feel about. I'd still say Pochettino. I don't know him I haven't seen him. I'm not too sure whether he plays with stereotypical number 9s. At least that's what I think right now. I'd have to maybe dig deeper to be sure. Whenever I argue about that, but your thoughts?
Yes, exactly the way you feel. That's exactly the way I feel about. I can't really say. Yeah, if it was under Potter, I say definitely no. It doesn't suit Potter's style. Under Pochettino, we don't know exactly what he wants. If he's the type of striker that he would want to play. But if it was Mourinho, 100% yes. If it was Mourinho,
bring him. Yeah.
If it was Mourinho, but looking at it now, I don't think if the price they're quoting there is what they want, I don't see us getting him. We can't afford. It's not the only player position we want to fill this summer. So I think they'll be very wise with the way they spend money. Like you said earlier, we have that Fofana. I don't know why they don't want to give him a chance. We have Broya coming back. So if we can't get a cheap striker, like I was reading Ferran Torres, they was talking about Ferran Torres coming in as well. There's interest from Chelsea for Ferran Torres, who can play as a striker and as a winger as well. So it might be that kind of player they just try to bring in and then keep Broya and maybe Fofana. So that covers for us. If we cannot spend big on that position as a striker, we need a very good striker, to be honest. But the other positions we really, really need to fill, like the midfield, is definitely key. We need to get at least 2 midfielders coming in. If the players that are leaving if they turn out to be true, then we definitely need to bring midfielders. Let's talk about Ugarte and Caceido. I don't know. So definitely they know we need about 2 or even 3 midfielders, depending on the ones that we let go. And especially Kante that is not staying fit. So the other positions we need to spend, if they're looking for 130 million or whatever it is, 10 million euro, whatever, that's too much. That's too much for, if it was the only position, as I said, that we want to fill this summer, then no problem. But we can't put all this money into one position.
Yeah, Amrabat, I think he just moved to another club, didn't he? So why would he be coming to Chelsea straight away? He just moved a few months ago. Is it to a French club? I don't remember where he moved to.
Yeah.
But that's by the way. Sorry?
He haven't moved anywhere. He's still at Fiorentina.
He's still at where?
Fiorentina.
Okay, that's the Moroccan, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. But I don't think we're interested in him. And if you're watching the people, keep dropping the likes on the stream. We need just 33 more likes to get it to 100 likes. And AD, thank you so much for that contribution there. I think, to me, I'm not sure what to make of it, but if the manager feels like, Osimhen is what he wants, he's still very young, which means he can be, he can still adapt his approach to the game and be what the manager wants him to be. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, just like Thomas Bays says there. We need to get it to 200 likes as soon as possible, and we're still just at 68. Leave Enzo at DM. Let him. Just the only thing you to do for Enzo is just give him the independence to be more adventurous. Pair him with a traditional 6, and in a 4-3-3 system, he shouldn't be the one. Again, he needs to play in a role where he'd have the independence to venture forward more often than he's done for us since he joined us. Unfortunately, I said something on Twitter. Some people think Enzo is the guy that will help us get double digits in terms of assists. I told them my argument was actually we need a central attacking midfielder, and Enzo isn't a central attacking midfielder. We need, maybe if you want to call it a 10, that produce great good chances from the central area of the pitch. I think that will go a long way for us and help us overall diversify our chance creation. So we're not that predictable. What do you think about Amrabat? I think he's a good DM option. But I don't know him that much. But I know he's a Moroccan international. I haven't watched him that deep to say he's my first option. My first option actually, choice has always been Ismail Benessa of AC Milan. But yeah, I don't think we're serious about getting him, if that makes sense. Let's see, and I'm not sure when the buyout clause on his new contract, which is 50 million euros, is going to be active. Chelsea is all over the market, and there's a chance we're actually not looking at those players that we're being linked with. It's silly season, so we're going to be linked with quite a lot of people, even names you haven't heard on occasions. Let's see, what else do we have here? Sorry?
I think people are misunderstanding the transfer market. It's normal to be linked to so many players in order to not to focus on a one player. For example, we need to have a list of players. For example, let's say DM. We might link with 4 DMs, but again, we might get one. It's normal. That's why we are linked with so many players. Rather than linking with one player like Arsenal, they link with Mudryk the whole summer at the whole window, and then boom, we get him, and then they draw up the structure of getting a backup option. So I think it's normal to be linked with so many players. It's normal, but people don't see things like that.
Yeah. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 31 more to get it to 100. Let's make it happen, people. We're 69 likes, 31 more to get it to 100. Remember, we want 200 likes by the time the show ends. This here says, does anyone know what type of play Poch is deploying? High pressing, high octane football, quick passes, and they're very, very penetrating all the time. Passes with papers, not into just keeping the ball for the sake of it. And you could argue that. And a mix of playing from the flanks and centrally. I think he drills his team. And I think you can say high octane football overall. I would rather go for the player. Is it Atalanta? What team again? The Italian team he plays for? Rasmus. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. That price, and they say he plays like people are saying he plays like Erling Haaland or something like that, and way more potential in my opinion. And I think Osimhen kind of reached his peak. Is that what you want to say? His thing. I think we need experience. We don't want a bunch of young players. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to achieve anything. It would just end up being a good run. But when the Chiefs are down, we'll start dropping points, just like Arsenal did. Because to me, Arsenal, they were not able to win the league because they don't have experience in depth. So experience does go a long way. When we are in the market, we seem to be desperate. We seem to be by the wind. I'm not sure what to make of that. But I think I get your argument. We seem to overpay for players. Has much better ability than Osimhen. Okay, I don't know him that much to argue otherwise. So, but good. I think I need to look at them. I need to look at Erasmus even more. I don't know why I haven't done that. Good afternoon to you too. And if you're not a moderator, please avoid using more than 3 emojis. That can lead to the machine or the robot that is policing the chat to delete your message. I still rate Fernando Torres as a striker, even he wasn't successful at Chelsea. You could argue he wasn't successful at Chelsea, but he was an excellent striker. But the argument mainly is that he was already done before Liverpool sold him to us. He was patched up with, is it medicine or so before they sold him to us. But he was a fine finisher before he joined us. Let's move on from that. DM is not primary for me, but we need for squad depth. I agree. Let's see what else we have here. Squad depth is important. Watch the Inter Napoli game. Osimhen didn't seem that strong, but mobile. Lukaku was stronger, but looked like he had bricks in his shoes. They like him. I hope they keep him, but I'd still argue they're just hyping Lukaku, something like they want him to remain at Inter because they have a Champions League final to play against Man City, which you could argue Lukaku may well be again, the winner for, prove to be the winner for them on the day. So they don't want him to be in bad mood. A month ago or so, they were shaming him publicly, saying he's fat and all that. But I want to move on from that. We need 29 more likes to get it to 100. So keep dropping the likes on the stream. And also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Tabilha, I don't know. Have you spoken about Osimhen? Did I miss it? Did you? And I missed it.
No, no. Can you hear me?
Okay, go ahead. What you make of him? Do you think he would be a good fit for Chelsea under Mauricio Pochettino, to be specific?
To be honest, I think he'll be a good fit for Pochettino in terms of his work rate, his finishing. But again, as I said before, like his his price tag is too huge, and then it comes with pressure, especially when he played for Chelsea. The only
Mm.
player that I see at Chelsea with a huge price tag and then make things simple. Enzo Fernandez is expensive, but again, he just play his game. And then if Victor Osimhen will come to Chelsea and focus on his game, he's gonna be a good player. So I'm not sure about him due to the price tag. But again, if he was maybe, let's say, 80, 70, yeah, I'll take that risk. But hopefully, if he comes to Chelsea, hopefully he bang on game goals, because this fan base is so toxic, man. If a player goes 5 games without scoring a goal, it's gonna be more toxic. Hopefully, we sign him, and then he's one of our priorities. But again, let's hope and see what will happen. But Victor Osimhen, I want my African brother to come to Chelsea.
Here's the thing. It all depends on what the manager wants. But it's sounding like he wants him. That is, if we're to believe the rumors. But like I said, I'm not too sure. The sort of striker that I'd say that last we were able to say that Thomas Tuchel doesn't play with traditional number 9. We were able to say the same with regards to Poch. With regards to Potter, Poch, the case may well be different. But if he decides, maybe he's looked at it and feel like he needs that sort of number 9 in the Premier League, and it can get him to play, to become even better a better all-round player, if that makes sense. But let's see. He's asking here question: would you take Marco Asensio of Real Madrid for cheap price and squad depth? I would, but do I think the club would do that? I'd say no. Right now, the priority is actually to reduce the overall wage bill and sign players we want at the club, and let go those that are surplus requirement. Osimhen to Chelsea, as a fellow Nigerian, I will be ecstatic to see that. I see, always nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining the show. But I was reluctant. I didn't want him to come underground, Potter, and I will never. It would have been again. I didn't want that to happen, but now I'm not too sure. It all depends on what the manager wants. Maybe it was because I was comparing him to Lukaku. Maybe the thing about Osimhen is that he's at the right place at the right time. Can you elaborate? I see, so that we can understand what you mean. And John, nice to see you, John. Thank you so much for finding the time to join in. 76 likes. Yep, let's get the likes up, which means 24 more to get it to 100. Let's make it happen, people. Thank you so much for always finding the time to join the show. I appreciate that. Thank you, John, for pressing the like button. And can you see Osimhen deal happening? I'd say, if you ask me, I'd say 25% of the possibility of that happening. Why do I say that? He's not going to come cheap. Napoli paid, I think, 80 million euros for him. And you know De Laurentiis, the Napoli president, he's a shrewd businessman, and he's not one to pay that much money for a player. And Osimhen, who's been in brilliant form for them, scoring goals for fun, you can say he's one of the best strikers in world football right now. And I don't think if he decides he wants to let him go, he'd let him go for anything less than 100 million pounds. I'm not even talking about euros, which I've always argued we don't have the luxury to spend that much money on a player in the summer. Or let me just say, we will not have the luxury to spend that much money on a single player in the summer. Why do I say that? One, two things. As we sell players, I don't think we'll be spending all the money we'll make from player sales on by bringing in new players. We'll also be looking to balance the books also, if that makes sense. So not to get into trouble with FFP rules and all that. Chelsea fans are dreaming if they think that Osimhen will come. Jean-Marc Loba, well, people are allowed to dream. You can dream. And my bro, the vote. Always nice to see you, brother. It's been a minute. I think we saw yesterday. We did. You were in the chat yesterday too. How are you doing? Chelsea should go for Jody Alba. The Barcelona man.
What?
Yeah. You want him?
No way.
Why did you say it? Why you say no? I want to hear your thoughts. Why are you saying no?
We have Marco Corella, we have Ben Chilwell, and we have Ian Matson also on the list. We already have 3 left backs. We need to ship out one of them. And we still
need to make way to accommodate Ian Matson. And I let me ask you this quickly, while you're still speaking. Do you think the club will decide to sell either Marco Correa or Ben Chilwell to accommodate Ian Matson? Or do you think that they try to get Matson to put pen to paper for a new contract and then ask him to remain on loan with Burnley since they make it to the Premier League? I think it'd be easy to convince him to do that. Why do I say that? Because he still have that you can say that spirit. He still has the bond with the Burnley teammates. We can easily convince him and say, do one more year with them. Since they're in the Premier League, get the experience with them, and you're a starter for them. What do you think?
The only way we can win this case for me, he has 1 year left on his contract. Is either we sell him to Burnley with a buyback clause. The only way we can win this situation because he's on a 1 year contract left. So if maybe had 2 or 3, that would be possible. Maybe extend the contract and loan him back. But again, we are in a deep trouble in terms of keeping him. But again, as I said before, Ben Chilwell just signed a 4 years new contract. Marco Correa is still new at Chelsea. What Chelsea fans do you expect? Like, should we keep him while we still have Marco Correa and Ben Chilwell just signed a new contract? It's impossible. And again, coach, we need to balance our books. So selling him will give us profit because it's our home base grown player. So I see him being sold with a buyback clause. Maybe after 2 years, that'll be good for us.
So
maybe
after 2 years. You don't think the club will sell either Correa or Ben Chilwell to accommodate him?
No, I don't think so. But where's I busy? Seems he left.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I also have argued that I don't see Cucurella leaving this summer, honestly. Classic static number 9 does not work for Chelsea because he will not get enough services from the midfielders. But things are changing. I think Mauricio Pochettino can solve that problem. Chelsea need a mobile centre forward who can come back and keep himself engaged. Drop deep, participate in the play. Perfect example being a Harry Kane. But I'm saying Osimhen is still young, and we can get him to do that. I'm not sure. I'm not too sure either whether he's equipped enough to be able to do that. Tap in and clean up any scraps. Yeah, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We need 22 more likes to get it to 100. Let's make it happen. Listen, we're shooting for 200 likes, and we can actually make that happen. Always at the back post with powerful headers. Okay. And if you're able to predict it, then teams can actually predict it that he's always at the back post and mark him out, if that makes sense. Surely they don't turn down 120 million plus, but surely we're not going to give them anything close to 100, if that makes sense. So a little bit like Haaland. I think they differ. I love Lukaku, the ball because of his energy. Okay. You can go buy a poster of Lukaku, put it in your room if you love him that much. But I don't want him to come back to Chelsea. But that's my opinion. And it doesn't change anything. If the club if they want to bring him back, they do that. My opinion will not actually wield any measure of influence with regards to the possibility of him coming back to Chelsea or the decision to bring him back or not. I think with Sergio Correa, okay, remember I told you this. I don't think we're going to sell him. Just remember I told you that. Ian Matson, coming through. I know we all love him. He's done well. He did well in the championship with Burnley, and they're promoted. So maybe we'll be able to get him. Maybe we'll be able to get him to. How do I say it? Maybe we'll be able to get him to put pen to paper for a new long-term contract or stay with them, or maybe do what what's his name? Do what Todd Boehly suggested. Just sell him and add a buyback clause, and that will help us. 79 likes, people. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes do go a long way. Sort out the midfield with robust, dynamic midfielders with vision. Then a striker, Caceido, Ugarte, and Polinha. If the midfield is porous and weak, we will not improve. I think I agree. I agree with you with that. Let's move on. What else do we have here? We have this one here. We have this. This here says Joao Felix says he doesn't know yet on his future. This 4 or 5 months that he loves it here. He loves it at Chelsea and would like to remain at the club. But I think there are other factors to consider, whether we're able to afford buying him or even extending his loan spell, whether he's a player we need. I'm not sure what to make of that one. To me, I still think, as much as I think he's a good player, I think if Nkunku is truly, if he's already signed for us and he's going to be with us in the summer, then I get it. As much as I think we need squad depth, I think signing Felix would just be more of a luxury signing, not like a signing we need. But I want to get your thoughts on that one too, Tabeho. What do you think?
Joao Felix is a fine player. He plays champion football. He just needs a coach that will give him direction, tell him what to do. But again, as I said, Atletico Madrid extended his contract before he left to Chelsea. So clearly they want more man. Let's say maybe 100 or more than that. That will be a risky situation for us. I want him with a loan option only if the coach approves it, because I don't want him to come in Chelsea and then not prioritizing our current players. Let's say Nkunku coming in, and then also coach, if we're gonna sell Kai Havertz, I want Joao Felix to come there, because I think Kai Havertz is a fine as a 10, but again, we never seen him given a chance to play number 10 role. You can see him at Germany playing a number 10. He's flourishing on that position. But again, coach, Joao Felix is just the risky transfer to make. But I would love him at Chelsea. But at the moment, we just need to trim the squad. And then I don't think there's space for him to come at Chelsea.
Unfortunately, so except if by, I don't know, some miracle, Nkunku ends up joining a different club and not Chelsea, which I don't see happening. Then we can accommodate him, and Kai stays also. It wouldn't make sense. It would just be, a signing that we're signing for the sake of good to have signing, not because we really need him. But if we can find space to accommodate him, I'd take him. Honestly, he's an excellent player. I know he hasn't really worked out for him. And I don't think Frank can justify dropping him on the bench. I get it. He missed a few chances or maybe hit the woodwork and all that. He's been quite unlucky too. But let's see what happens there. I still think it's going to be difficult. Plus, Atletico, I think we heard something a week or 2 weeks ago saying something to the effect of Atletico willing to also let him stay one more year at Chelsea on loan, then before deciding whether to sell him or not. And we've also heard something to the effect of the club not willing to pay how much Atletico are willing to sell him. So, and Eugene, if you're there, somebody in the chat, JC has a question for you. If you have time, if you can see that, please oblige. We have here, waiting to happen. My bro asking me a question here. It says, and that's from my bro, Victor Adedoyin, waiting to happen, my homie. Nothing much that happens, Jerry. Just lots of talk from media. This one will happen, the other one will happen. And we're not too sure which one of them will happen. But all rumors, but sometimes the rumors can point you to what's most likely to happen in the transfer market when the transfer market opens. But let's see. Do you think we should wait until January to go for Ivan Toney? I think we shouldn't. I don't think we shouldn't. It will be a risky transfer. There's no guarantee because he's banned from playing football at all, right? If he's training, he'll be training at home alone. So we don't need that, actually. I think if you follow Chelsea history, we usually don't go for players with such, history, issues or should I say, gambling issues or something like that. I don't know. What do you think, Eddie? Do you think we should go for Ivan Toney? I'd say no, even though I think he's a good player.
Sorry, coach, if you don't mind, I just want to quickly touch on that Joao Felix and Cucurella.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. You don't have to say sorry, actually. You have every right to start from where you want to start.
Yeah, I think going forward this season, I don't think we'll be able to sell any of them, because if we, like Matson, like Tobago was saying, Matson, if he has only 1 year left on his contract and he doesn't want to extend it and he goes over to stay with Burnley, we could have a buyback clause. He's a very good player, but I don't think he'll be ready for us now.
Do you think it'd be easy to convince him to spend one more season with them, especially in the Premier League? I think it'd be easy because he has bond with the team already. Probably would. I don't know, but what do you think? Go ahead. I want you to please address that.
I think it'll be easy to talk to him, but they have to give him assurances. Like maybe if they say just give us one more season and let's have a look at Cucurella or Ben Chilwell, if any of them will be moved on. If they give him those assurances that we're definitely going to move one of them on, depending on the one that doesn't perform. But if he turns around and asks, what about if both of them end up performing well? Then what happens? So that's where the catch is, So, but if we say we want to have him, to just keep him there and then say maybe, because like I said, I thought Cucurella or one of the left backs would be sold. But based on the number of players we're about to let go this summer, I don't think we'll be able to let either of them go for now.
Yeah, and there are two of the most experienced players we have in the team, and we need experience. We have too many young players
that's where the difficulty will be for Matson to come in, because he's a young lad. So we don't have to bring in too many young players in the squad. We need experience. And then to Joao Felix, I tell you, this season, unless we want to be unfair to most of these players, this season cannot be used as a yardstick to judge players' performance because it's been awful. So
yeah, we shouldn't be isolating players' performances this season. It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't, because he's been unlucky as well. Confidence so low. So this season is just that season where we can't actually say we've seen the best or the worst of some players like Mudryk, even Noni. We've seen flashes of what Noni can do. Mudryk, based on the price tag, we've not actually seen. But I don't want to base the assessment on this season alone. So we just have to give them one next season, and then coming in, hopefully we have stability in terms of manager, and then we build from there. And then coming to Ivan Toney, I don't know. The suspension is for 8 months. So January, like what we're reading is what we have to go by. The coach is saying he's staying with them. They're going to keep him because they know it's a huge asset for them, and they won't want to give the impression that after the ban they want to sell him.
They're offering him a new contract.
Exactly. They won't want to give. It's the best thing to do for them because it's a huge asset for them. And then if they handle it wrongly, it will end up them getting nothing appreciable for him. So they want to make sure they play it very well and offer him that new contract. If he signs it, then that gives them that leverage to be able to ask for good money when the ban is over. But if they throw him under the bus and say they're not supporting him or whatever it is, and make him not appreciated, then that won't go well for them. So I see them playing it very well. But for us going for him, I don't think so, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's a business that doesn't make sense. You sign a player and he's not going to get to play for you for 8 months. It just doesn't make any sort of sense, really. And plus, I'm not sure. I don't. Tobago, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I just want to add something about Pochettino while I was doing some research. I know it's out of topic, but I like this. Two things. He said, "You don't come to Chelsea to play. You come to Chelsea to train, and then the coach will decide whether you play or not." And the
Yeah.
other thing, yes, and the other thing, he said the players should go to loan where they will play in order to develop rather than giving, for example, the Billy Gilmore situation. We loaned him to Norwich City. He started a few players, a few games, and then he ended up not playing. So I think it's so important to collaborate with
Honestly,
the.
they violated him at Norwich City.
Yeah, so it's so important to talk with the team that is going to loan our player. Like, you need to
Mm.
use him. You want him to develop so that we can use him for next season. So that's what I love about Pochettino. Hopefully, Chelsea will give him that sort of a power in order to make these decisions. Will be good for us in the coming future.
Yep. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I think I'm excited. I hope he's again. I can't wait for him to start. Really, I think he will make a lot. He will surprise a lot of people. No to Felix is not as suited for the EPL. To the EPL, just dribbles, no assists, and no assists, goals, and price crazy. Big no for me. He's not just needed. I mean, that's a solid argument too. With the right coach, Felix Nkunku, and a prolific striker, 100% on fire. I hope that happens. Felix is the missing piece. Havertz, Ziyech are the obstacles. Wow. Neil, nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join in the show. Chelsea should buy Tourné. Mark Lover thinks, here's the thing. It doesn't make sense to sign a player and then he's not going to play for 8 months. It just doesn't make any sort of sense. What are you going to be doing in that 8 months? When Mudryk picks his form and then Kunku arrives, we will forget Mount was at Chelsea. No player is bigger than the club. That's how I see it. If he does not want to stay, let him be sold. We lost better players before. It's as simple as that. I have to say this is the delicious comment of the day. And something else that I've talked about that most people don't talk about is this. It's the fact that people seem to be blaming just the new owners. The fact that they haven't come to an agreement with Mount Camp for him to put pen to paper for a new contract. It just doesn't make sense. They forget there's a chance Mount himself is the reason he just doesn't want to sign. He just maybe he's already he sees his future somewhere else and wants to leave. But unfortunately, people are not going to be objective when they talk about that. They just go straight to blaming the club and saying it's all on the new owners. If he ends up not staying out, not signing a new contract. Here's the thing. That's not me. That's not me saying. I don't know how to phrase this for my points to come across effectively, but we should judge cautiously. We should be objective whenever we talk about the Mount situation and understand that, it takes the two to come to an agreement. So if they're not agreeing, just see it as if it doesn't work. They shouldn't. For instance, that's not me saying I know how much Mount is asking. That's not me saying his salary demand. Salary demand is the problem. But I'm just saying, are you saying if Mount wants 500,000 a week, that you just give it to him and keep it? That's how most people are sounding. It's business for all businesses, all parties involved. It's business for Mount. It's business for the club. If Mount feels like he can earn more elsewhere, then he may well want to leave, and we don't know. But I just want to move on from that topic, really. But thank you for that. Desmond Moretti says Evan Tourné cannot be the solution. He's shown a low attitude. Players are so many. Lautaro, only Watkins. I like Watkins, but he's actually one of the most underrated strikers in the Premier League or forwards in the Premier League. Bowen from West Ham. There are good players everywhere, but even those I don't want. I think we can do better than those. If we're going to go for Tourné, I'd rather we go for Oli Watkins. Ivan Tourné gambled and it's banned for 8 months, and the club offers him a new contract. If that was at Chelsea, that would that have happened? I don't think it will happen. Questions for the panel. I don't think it will happen. I remember when Mutu, Adrian Mutu had a drug issue, doping issue. That I think the club sacked him literally, and he owed the club money for a while. I don't think Chelsea doesn't condone such behavior. I'm not saying they would have sacked him, but I don't think they would move to extend his contract. Chelsea is Chelsea, and if Chelsea do that, the media will make. They will take it and run with it. Who is Felix is supposed to assist when we don't play a striker? We don't have to have a striker for him to, assist anybody. Fabregas looked like crap at Barca while being played, as false nine. Fans abused him. Then Chelsea got him, and Costa. The rest is history. Here's the thing: the argument isn't whether Felix is a bad player or not. What you should be looking at is the fact that we don't have the luxury to be spending that much money in the summer. If we're going to be buying him on a permanent, I don't think we can afford to do that, given that we have other areas of priority, which I believe the club will be looking to bring in reinforcements and not Felix. If they prioritize Felix and spend that much money on him, then we seriously do have a problem, if that makes sense. But I hope you understand. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We are at 83 likes, and we're shooting for how many? We're shooting for 200 likes, but we haven't gotten half of that. We should get it to 100 as soon as possible. 17 more to get it to 100. Let's make that happen, people. We can do, 200 likes. Let me see what else we have here. Sign Lavia for squad depth. He is a quality player who is association trained, and he's Premier League proven. Okay, if that's your argument, let's see if the club would want to do that. Yeah, go ahead.
But again, I like Lavia, but again, I think he's not ready for a big club. He needs to play for another club or stay at Southampton to develop more. He's still young. He just played one season in the Premier League for Southampton, and then we all jump in. We want him at Chelsea. And if you say like Lavia for the squad depth, what about Andre Santos? What should we do with Andre Santos at Chelsea?
Exactly.
If Alexis Ampadu there, what should we do with Ampadu? I think we should be careful when we spend money, because even in Ampadu is a good player, but again, I don't think he will stay at Chelsea. So we should be careful. Well, what do we do?
Yep, good logic there. If we sign him and we're planning on bringing back Santos, what do we do with him? It's a signing, another signing that wouldn't make any sort of sense. And I don't think he should be. If we're really looking for a DM, I don't think Lavia is the guy. As much as I think he's a good player overall, but I don't think he's that guy. Chelsea should ask Mourinho to recommend a striker. We can spend 200 million and end up with Lukaku. I wouldn't ask another manager to recommend a striker for another manager. It just doesn't make sense. Like we said, if we like at the time when Graham Potter was still our manager, when people were calling for the club to go for Victor Osimhen, I argued no, it will never work, because Potter is not known to play with traditional number nines. And I did say then, just like Eddie mentioned today also, if it was Mourinho, then get him Osimhen. Get him Osimhen. Even Lukaku, I think you get them both firing on all cylinders, if that makes sense. But it wouldn't make sense to have another manager recommend a striker for another club. For what? If the manager at the club doesn't want the player, then you're creating problems than solving problems. Now the question is: Rice, Caceido, Ugarte, or a combination of them? If a combination is a solution, then Lavia will not be needed. I don't think we need Caceido and also need Rice. That's because we don't have the luxury. We cannot afford signing both in the summer. But I'm not the club's accountant. There's a chance the possibility is there. I don't know. I would take Caceido, and Caceido is more of a box-to-box than actually a DM. But I think
I will take Ugarte.
I would take Ugarte, yeah, because he's more of the traditional DM than Caceido is. Caceido is more of a box-to-box midfielder, if that makes sense. Yeah, but let's see what the club does. We've heard in the case of Lavia, the club's scout, they observed some deficiencies that they don't like. So, which means probably they're not considering signing Lavia anymore, even though he's going to come for cheap, if that makes sense. Mudryk is not professional. He always is busy with Instagram and making gym clips. He doesn't have enough time to think about football. I'm not sure what to make of that. But I think actually, just 1 second, I'm checking up for an update here. Nothing special there. I think maybe he should be doing less of that. It doesn't make sense that every month we hear one story with regards to a post is made on Instagram or so, controversial all the time. But I think it's a good kid. Kids will always be kids. I hope I see him mature. We'll start seeing less and less of such behavior from him. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. People will have 85 likes, 15 more to get it to 100. We can make that happen. Please keep dropping the likes. The likes to go a long way, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. This here says we need a Caceido and a DM by all means. If we can afford that, I'd take it. But like I said, I'm not too sure what the club, what we're gonna do in the summer. Let's talk about Rice here. Eddie, do you think we need him really? Do you think we need him, or would you rather go for other options?
Declan Rice we're talking about. Sorry, I just lost.
Yeah, Declan Rice. Yeah. Do you think we need him? But I don't think we're serious anymore. And I heard something that I've always thought, something that I thought has always been the case. Him feeling, you could say holding grudges. Saying Chelsea didn't treat him well. I'm not sure how truthful that is, but your thoughts. Do you think we should go for someone else, or do you think the club should prioritize signing Rice? I know some Chelsea fans just want the club to sign him because they don't want Arsenal to sign him, just for the sake of that. But you go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I like Declan Rice, to be honest. I like him, and I think he's bringing his game to another level now. The last few games I've seen, he's taking more responsibility. He's becoming a better all-round player. He's adding goals to his game now. I think he's developing well. We shouldn't forget he's only still a young lad. He has rooms to. He has a lot of.
How old is he again? 24.
I think it's about 23, 24. Yeah, but if the only reason fans think we should sign him is because we don't want Arsenal to have him, I don't subscribe to that. We will only sign him if we need him and if we can afford him. If he's the player, because I know Pochettino is saying he would like to sign more of Premier League experienced players. That's what he says he would like to have. So Declan Rice is Premier League experience, and if he falls in the same, I don't know now. I think this will be. I don't know. I think I just need to ask if he's in the same price category as Caceido. Who do we think we go for? For me personally, I go for Declan Rice.
Because it's
just like Tobago said.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just like Tobago said, any price tag that is unreasonable, we don't have to go for it. But if his price tag is reasonable, and he doesn't want to sign a new contract with West Ham, and they know they have to sell. I mean, West Ham they've realized now that they just have to sell. Another thing that I may find very interesting is the relationship he has with Mason Mount. Would there be any bearing on Mason Mount not staying and him coming? I don't know, because they're kind of good friends, So would there be any bearing on that if Mason Mount decides to leave and we're interested in him?
I think there will be. They're close, and one factor also to consider. I've always thought that he'd feel like he needs to go somewhere else, and and in turn make Chelsea realize they shouldn't have let him go. Although I think I've had Bobby explain that Chelsea didn't let him go. At one point, he got to a certain level and decided he wants to continue his development at West Ham United. I'm not too sure what the case is, but I've always thought he's never going to want to come back to Chelsea, even if we still have Mount And yeah, be rest assured, if Mount is bent on leaving, he'd know because they're that close. And if Mount is hell bent on, if Benton again is wants to leave, then he will not be coming to Chelsea because they're that close. At least that's what we believe. But I'm not sure. If you're also looking at things from a business perspective, because it is business for all parties involved. If Chelsea pays him well, and if Chelsea is the best club for him, I think he'd join us. But for obvious reasons, I don't think he will prioritize coming to Chelsea now over other clubs. We don't have Champions League football, and we're still on a shaky ground, for lack of a better term, if that makes sense. I don't know. Tabeho, you have anything to add to that, or should I move on? Okay, I'll keep speaking. It looks like Tabeho is business. Is busy.
In terms of in terms of Rice, if the press.
Are you there? Are you there, Tabeho? You're breaking up.
Can you hear me well?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I can hear you crystal clear.
Man. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. All I'm saying, like, if the price tag with the price tag of Rice with and Caceido is the same, I'll prefer Rice because Rice is a good player. It's a leader. I can do a lot of things, but again, the issue now I have is price tag. With the price tags, because like it seems like the clubs now wants to rob Chelsea. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Tobago. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think Coach
as you said.
He just got up for a while. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
As
I'm back.
said,
I'm back. And actually, I didn't know that this wasn't on mute, but that's by the way. At least I wasn't cursing. We need Caceido and a DM. Tabeho, were you still speaking? I don't think he was. And this here says Rice. Rice's leadership quality is what I like the most, not necessarily needed, but I do like his profile. I think he brings up leadership and all that, and plus he can also play as a CB. That's a plus. But if we have to choose between him and Caceido is not really. I wouldn't say he's more of a box-to-box than a DM, but do I think he's capable of fulfilling a DM role? I think he can. But maybe we should go for traditional DMs after all. Caceido as a CM, we can still actually have them both. If the manager decides Rice is the profile of DM he wants. Felix can play a striker though, false nine, but and if you see him in person. He isn't small at all. I'm not talking about his size is the least of my concerns. My concern is whether we have the luxury to, whether he is a player we really need right now, given that Nkunku is coming. Except maybe if we're going to sell Kai Havertz and then accommodate him and make room for him, then fine. But he's not going to come cheap. And from what we learned a few weeks ago, we're trying to see if they're going to sell him for cheap for us, which I don't see happening. If anything, we also learned that they are willing to let him stay on loan one more season with us. Maybe that would be helpful, but I'm not too sure what the club are going to do. But let's find out what happens. This here says 1 second. Caceido is 70 million. Rice is 92 million minimum. Okay, so I take Caceido if that's the case. Maybe you can say mold him into a traditional DM. I think he can fulfill that role, but I actually don't want static DMs. I don't want static DMs that all they do is just a break up a position play and that is. I want DMs that you can get more from, and Caceido would do that for us. But we should be looking for traditional DMs. We don't need a Rice. He's not, to me, he's not my first choice. Unfortunately, we're not looking at the player. To me, that is my first choice, which is Ismail Benessa as my first choice, but I don't think we're looking at him. He extended his stay as Milan, and also there's a buyer clause on his new contract. but I'm not sure that is active yet. A very, very cheap, 50 million buyout clause, but probably will not be active until maybe next season. What else do we have here? Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We need 11 more likes to get it to 100 likes. Let's make it happen. The likes do go a long way. More importantly, thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. I sincerely do appreciate that. Anything else to talk about here? This here says Lewis Hall is expected to be called up to England on the 21 for the first time. Good for him. He's a fine player. I hope he stays with us. And I think he's a talent that I actually do not want to go on loan. I think we should mix things up. Something here. Conor Gallagher has been included in the England squad for the Euro 2024 qualifiers against Malta and North Macedonia next month. I'm sure Sterling, the rumors are he's going to miss out this time. Let's see what else we have. Says Lampard wants attitude, the basic and the application. I've heard enough of that. I'm not interested in hearing what he wants this time. I expected him to give the young players a chance, but I knew that probably he'll be prioritizing winning games and not helping, not give the young players a chance to at least get them ready for the coming season. Let's see anything else important. These are updates that AD sent to me. Frank Lampard on players having conversations over their future, then get chance to say goodbye if they are leaving. He said there's not a way. As far as we stand, our players are contracted. Yep, that's simple. He was asked the question, will Chelsea wake up next season? And he responds saying the Premier League moves very fast. If you switch it off, it's not easy to switch it back on. I think that would be the best. We need to do all we can to compete in the coming season. Otherwise, getting back into top four is going to be very difficult. I'm not gonna. I think I'm done with enough of his responses to questions during the press conference. Who Rice is going to lead at Chelsea? You can't take away the fact that he's a natural leader. That's one thing. I'm not going to go into the argument who he's going to lead, but I don't think he's coming to Chelsea anyway. That's what I think. What we have here, latest reports of Chelsea leading the race to sign Caceido. Wow. I didn't know that. I was thinking maybe he wouldn't want to come to us because he would like to go to Arsenal because they have Champions League football and we don't. So if we get him, I'd take him. He's a fine player and I think he will make us stronger. And you see fight in him whenever he plays. Nkunku and Felix can easily interchange the striker position as hybrid strikers. Has the hybrid thing, has it really worked for us for a while now? As much as, again, I prefer hybrid approach than playing with a traditional striker, but it hasn't really worked for us, really. But I'm going to leave it up to the manager to decide what sort of player he wants and what sort of player he doesn't want. What else do we have lined up here? We've spoken, and if you're in the chat, let me get your contribution with regards to the possibility of Chelsea signing Osimhen. And rumors are that we're seriously pushing to sign him. So if you're in the chat, let me know. What do you make of it? I know Eugene is not a big fan of Osimhen, and he thinks it will not work. And I think the same too, especially under Graham Potter. But at 23 plus, his all-round play isn't that bad. I think Pochettino can mold him into the sort of player he wants him to be. But do we have the luxury to really do that? I don't know. We'll find out. I don't know. Eddie, anything else you want us to discuss? And Tabeho, if you're there, any other topic you want us to discuss before we call it a day?
Yeah, Coach, can you hear me now?
Yeah, crystal clear.
Okay, I just want us to discuss about the goalkeeper situation. It seems like we forgot about the goalkeeper situation. Who do you think Chelsea should prioritize in terms of we've been with Anana, David Raya, and Martinez? So No,
Robert
Sanchez. I
Robert,
think
we're
he was.
being linked. So go ahead.
I think Sanchez was linked to us because of Graham Potter as his former coach, but now I'm not sure anymore that we're gonna be linked with it. But
No, I
we'll
think
never know.
Sanchez actually. There's an update that AD sent me. Sanchez is actually mentioned as one of the players we're currently looking at. Let me see. Let me find out again. Um, Sorry, I'll
And
find out
we've
in a
actually
bit.
been linked. We've actually been linked to this Juventus keeper, former Arsenal goalkeeper Chesney.
Chesney,
Uh,
Wozni, is that how you pronounce his first name? Wozni Chesney. I'm not sure.
Was Chesney or something like that?
Was
Yeah.
it Chesney? Yeah. I don't know whether I like him, but it's not up to me. It's who the manager wants. But go
man,
ahead.
nah.
Yeah, here's the goalkeepers we're linked with. This here says some of those on the wish list, on Chelsea's wish list. Goalkeepers Andre Onana, Emiliano Martinez, David Raya, and Robert Sanchez. Those are the goalkeepers. But you could argue on Andre Onana tops the list, and rumors are that we've already had conversations with Inter Milan. But go ahead with what you were saying.
Yeah, at this moment, coach, in terms of getting rid of Lukaku, just to get out this Lukaku situation, I'll make a sub deal with Inter Milan with Onana.
Yes.
Do you think I think it makes sense. That's some logic right there. Eddie, do you think it's possible?
Yeah, it's definitely possible. It depends on Onana. If Onana wants to come, at the end of the day, it's about the player himself. If he wants to come and they just, I mean, discussing it, they might talk about it. And if the player shows interest that he feels he wants to come, yeah, why not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know whether he's interested in coming. There's no way to tell. But rumors are that we've actually had conversations with his camp. I'm not sure what to make of that. I think I like the Argentine international, the Aston Villa goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez. He has that.
Yeah, I like,
You could
yeah,
say that.
exactly.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
sort of Chelsea spirit. But my
yeah.
only but there, but is that I'm not too sure how good he is with his feet, and you can say Pochettino would want that. His teams do play out from the back, but I don't know. Are you well acquainted with his ability on the ball? Eddie, do you
No,
know how good
that's
he's
something
on the ball?
that's really something I've not paid attention to be honest, how good he is with his
Hmm.
feet. But I mean, he's a very good goalkeeper to be honest, and he might come cheaper than Onana.
Yeah, that may well be the case, and he's stated that he wants to leave at the end of the season. Uh,
Yeah,
that goes a long way with regards to how much he's going to go for. But Onana seems to be topping the list right now, but we're not too sure. Hopefully, we'll be able to sell it because that shows we're going to end up selling one of our goalkeepers. So I don't know whether we'd be selling them both. I'm not sure. I don't think it would make sense to sell them both. Even if you're bringing in a new goalkeeper, you need to have some measure of is it consistency or what was it? What's the term I'm looking for? You need some, you need to keep one of the, one of the two
um,
goalkeepers and not sell them both.
okay.
Yeah,
Martinez is actually 30. Martinez is 30 years and Onana is 27, so that's uh,
yeah, but you can say goalkeepers and they age like fine wine. The older the
yeah,
better. That's how I
exactly.
feel. Yeah.
Exactly, but I didn't know Onana was only 27. I thought he was older than that. I didn't know he was only 27. So
Yeah, he's just 27. I'm not sure, Thibaut, are you well acquainted with Martinez's ability on the ball? It says Ugarte, and the other two are Spanish. Robert Sanchez is Spanish, and what's the other goalkeeper there? Raya is also Spanish, and both of them are Spanish, right? So your Spanish goalkeepers are usually good with their feet. Not all of them, though. Ugarte in, I want again. He's a good player, but we're not sure sure of the club's priority in the market. Let's see what else we have there. Swap Lukaku and Onana, which is a good suggestion from Tobago. I think that we could see that happen, but we don't know. This says that Amy Martinez has the Rudiger gene. That's another way to say it. But what I call it is that Chelsea spirit, that shithousery, if you prefer. And I like that, really. Uh, I want to see that. We haven't had that in our team. None of our players now. James is trying He hasn't mastered that art. Every time he tries, he gets carded for it. Emi Martinez, I think I'd have to agree with you. Keep dropping the likes on the same people. 11 likes before we get. We'll be ending the show soon, and we need just 11 likes to get it to 100. Martinez is a warrior. I like his attitude. Yep, that's another way to say it. I like his attitude. Siege mentality. That's the term I was looking for. I like that siege mentality. I think he will be a good player for us. Hopefully, we're considering him. But from what we've heard, it just seems as if Onana tops the list. Don't forget about Slonina coming in. He's been training with the team, but I think he'd have to go out on loan. I've seen a friend of mine on Twitter suggest maybe keep him in the squad so that he gets plays cup games for us. I don't think that would be enough for his development. What do you think, Eddie?
Sorry, who's that? Sorry, I just missed out.
Slonina. Some are suggesting that he stays at the club. He remains at the club and play cup games. I don't think that would be enough for his development.
No, that wouldn't be good for his development. It wouldn't be good for his development because if he ends up only playing just cup games, it wouldn't be good for him. He's still very young, 18 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So no, that would be. I think he should go. He should go on loan, if possible, on loan. Yeah.
And hopefully to a club where he can get in that game time to keep maturing as a goalkeeper. Here are the midfield list: Moises Caceido, Alexis McAllister, and Eddie was the one that sent me this update actually. Romeo Lavia and Declan Rice. We can say we have to rule out Alexis McAllister because rumors are that he's close to joining Liverpool. But we're not sure what the club are going to do. For the attackers, it is Victor Osimhen, Tammy Abraham, Lautaro Martinez, and Rasmus. Is it Atalanta? What club again?
Yeah, Atalanta. The Danish striker, yeah?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Atalanta, yeah.
I need to watch him. I don't know anything about him. I have to be honest, really.
Again, coach.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I like the player, but I think he needs to develop more. He's still young, 10 years.
Didn't some of Chelsea fans argue the same thing when we wanted to sign Haaland? But go ahead.
I agree with Haaland, but Haaland was already bringing in goals for Salzburg in Austria, and then he bring goals for Dortmund. But with this kid, this season he's got few goals, so we need more from him. And then also his buyback is close, is 60 million, so that'll be a lot. So I'm gonna recommend you a player, guys. Go and watch him. He plays for PSV. His name is Santiago Jimenez.
And you think PSG will sell him to us?
Santiago who?
Santiago Jimenez.
Did you say for PSG or PSV?
PSV.
Oh, PSV.
And they've actually just, their manager just left. Van Nistelrooy left. Yeah, so
yes, because he just left because he had a few arguments with some players, if I'm not mistaken, and the club is allowing that, so that's why he ended over the resignation with immediate effect. Doesn't want to be there anymore because player powers, guys, it's not good anymore. We don't need to let these players to have a player power in the clubs anymore. So I think that hopefully the club land, and then he won them 2 trophies for them. They're ungrateful, but anyway, it's football, it's business. What can we say?
Yeah, exactly. This is a Brighton owners. Brighton owe us. Is it Brighton owe us? Give them so much. We give them so much. Okay, Brighton owe us because we gave them so much money and a better coach. Set them up for a long time. Please give us Caceido as a thank you. Good luck. Yeah. Good luck there, Constantine Dante. That's funny.
Yeah,
really.
that's right, coach. They actually got a lot of money off us. They got money for Cucurella. They got money off us for Potter. So I mean, that's funny. They
should be fair. Yeah, they should be nice to us. We've done well for them. Let's talk about this before we round up. Tammy Abraham, Would you like to see him back at Chelsea, AD?
No, for me, no.
Yeah. Why do you say that?
No, Tammy Abraham doesn't. Even when he was with Chelsea, he never came across to me like a player that can actually push himself beyond what he is. He's got the talent, but he's not exacting. If you know what I mean. For me, he looks so comfortable. He thinks he's that big boy. You know, that kind of, he has that big boy look about him that he doesn't feel down to earth, where he can think, oh, I need to put extra work to get to that level. He feels he's done it, and it's that level is kind of satisfied, if I want to use that word. So it doesn't strike to me as somebody who can actually look at Haaland. Even though the guy still scores, each time he misses, you can see the look on his face as if he hasn't even scored the whole season. That's the kind of player that wants to push himself to that level. You have to have that attitude. It's not as if he goes around on the pitch for me as if, oh, it's me. I can dictate what I want, I can turn it on and turn it off, whatever I want. No, for me, I don't know. I may be wrong, but I think I don't think I say I'm wrong. I don't want him, to be honest. No.
Yeah, I'd say the same too. Chelsea, I cannot trust the youth, even when we have nothing to lose. What a shame. Wenger would have played the youth, but unfortunately, Frank, he's at the time again in his coaching career that he needs to polish his coaching resume, brush it up because it doesn't look good. Melsport reports that Man United prepares an offer of 63 million euros of amount. I'd take that. Well, if he wants to leave, that's how I see it. This says Emi Martinez at 30 million max. That's not a bad price for him. I like again that his attitude on the pitch. Really, come on, coach. Get with the program, Rasmus. I think I will. I need to research him before I can present. You can say a solid argument whether the club should go for him or not. Let's see what else we have. Ian Matson and Slonina should be in the team. They are ready to gain experience. We need to stop waiting at the finish line at the height of success. I think that's a good argument right there. With that, people, I think we've come to the end of the show. Thank you so much. We've been streaming for 2 hours, 39 minutes. That's not a bad length. Usually we'll go for 3 hours plus, but we started an hour late for personal reasons. Nothing bad has happened, but yeah, sometimes waking up 3 a.m., 2 a.m. isn't easy. Sometimes it just doesn't work. But I want to say thank you to my bro AD for finding time to join on the panel. My bro Tebehu from the medieval land. Much love to you. Neum, much love to you. Constantine Dante, my Australian bro. Thanks to you, Lenfio. Thank you so much, bro. And Phil says here, did I read that? I think I've read that. We don't need any of the midfield list. We need a strong, built midfielders. You could argue that, and my bro also there. Thomas Bays, who else? Rafista, WC, Kimso, everyone else in the chat. Sorry if I missed your name. I'm only human. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and bye.
Thanks, Coach.
More thanks to you, brother. I appreciate you joining.